Love music. Live sport. Talking football with Bill Young, Hugh Burns and Jerry McCabe on Rock Sport Radio.
Okay, welcome to a brand new week and a brand new show. It's Talking Football across Central Scotland on DAB Digital Radio, online at rocksportradio.co.uk. You can listen to us on your smartphone and your smart speaker. That's using the TuneIn app and the Radiogram app. What's up with you now? What is wrong with you before we even start? You've got their head's going round like one of these meerkats. What's wrong with you?
Sugar you're talking about, not me.
No, him. What? What is it?
There's my paper there.
Is that your paper?
Oh, is that the paper that McCabe's brought in? Yes, aye.
Did you get it delivered?
Aye. I'm looking about and he's reading that. I thought I'd left it in the office.
Papers.
No, that's me quite happy. I've got the paper.
Are you sure now? Pull that microphone a bit closer to you, please.
Well, I'll come in a bit tighter, is that better?
That's better.
There
You
you go.
getting a wee bit tired. You're talking about your need to lose weight.
Aye, I was jogging this morning. 5 o'clock I was up at them and I went out and did a wee half hour.
Right, that'll do just now.
And then I get home.
Talking football, you can listen to us on your smartphone and start speaking.
Yeah,
That's you. That's you starting again.
That's
Using the TuneIn and the Radiogram apps. And you can watch us live on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope and YouTube. If you watch us on YouTube, it's Rock Sport Radio Official. Before we start, I would like, because you boys are learned in the game, especially you, Mr. McCabe, I would like your thoughts on this because I'm completely lost. And I mean bewildered.
At what?
Bewitched and bothered. So I'm bewitched, bothered and bewildered. The new rules. Why are they being applied in the World Cup, but they're not being applied in the Nations League and they're not being applied in the Euros?
Shug, you want to answer that? Well, we don't know, do we? But
well, the one.
it's easier to do it with women's football. Well, I mean, if they're thinking the World Cup and it's women's football. No, but they're obviously going to try it somewhere, aren't they? And they're not going to try it with the Nations.
It's easier to do with women's football.
I'm just saying they'll probably go. I know they're saying it's a World Cup.
How do you work it out? It's easier to do it with women's football.
Maybe that's it. Maybe you're talking about.
No, I don't, and that's why I'm asking you. Explain.
You're talking about top international players. No, you're talking about. I'm going to answer this. I'm going to answer this.
Let's get heat.
Maybe that's what they feel. They feel that's a lesser tournament than the Nations.
What? The Women's World Cup's a lesser tournament than the Nations.
Yes.
Oh,
jeez.
That was it.
Yes.
That hole's just getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
I'm just telling
Jerry,
you. Well, what would
Jerry,
you? Right.
How can you sit there and you know what I mean, have a comment like that against the women's football?
Well, I'll tell you. Right, if Portugal. What did you watch last night? Portugal and Holland. Well, the women's football was on earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I never watched Portugal-Holland. I've not seen any of the Euros at all.
I've been glued.
Or the Nations.
I'm just saying, I know what I would watch.
I watched Scotland on Saturday night.
Yeah.
I've missed one game apart from the one that's going on just now.
I've been glued to
I've
the
missed
women's
one
football.
game, which is the Norway game. I've seen all the rest of them, every one of them, and thoroughly enjoyed them.
Me too.
Some of us have got a light bulb. Some of us get out and about and then again, you know.
You two were talking about boozers that you were frequenting at the weekend.
No.
What is wrong
I'm
with
talking
you
about the weekend.
You know, if that's a life, you can have it.
Yeah. Well, the actual...
Answer me the question.
The one that surprised me yesterday was when the substitution was
No, when she went off at the nearest line.
Yeah.
That's what the new rule says.
Yeah.
But I don't get why it's being used in the World Cup and it's not being used in the Euros or the Nations that I can see.
Yeah. Well,
obviously they made that decision a long time ago to do it.
But why? Surely if you're
I
going
don't know, ask them.
listen to me because listen to me what I'm saying. How can you have consistency in the game? Surely if the rules change, they have to change in all tournaments for all teams at the same time.
Well,
surely.
I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in that wasn't a penalty against us anyway.
No, it was in accordance with the new rules. Stonewall.
No, it wasn't. It was ball to hand.
No, there is no such thing as ball to hand under the new rules.
Yeah. So they're taking common sense, away from referee.
That I agree with. That I agree with, but there is no such thing as ball to hand anymore under the new rule. What the rule says is your arm or hand in an unnatural position? Now, I would agree with you, and I would argue that it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
I would say if you come in, that's a natural position for a defender.
To be in.
Well, somebody made a good comment as well. See if I was your defender and he went in with his hands behind his back, right, okay, And is that not an unnatural position? You don't run about with your hands.
That is an absolutely unnatural position.
You don't run about with your hands behind your back in a game, do you?
I agree.
Well, when you're going to tackle somebody, you're jockeying somebody out, your arms are going to be out. You're going to be, and to cross the ball, it's not as if she's put out to stop the ball. It's just, and I thought it was terrible. Too close. I thought it was a bad decision. I thought there was,
the new rules are very specific. There is no hand to ball now. If it hits you anywhere where they deem that your arm is or hand is in an unnatural position, whether it's accidental or not, it will be a penalty. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. If that applies in the box, it has to apply elsewhere. And there were times when handball was played in the very same way in open play outside the box where nobody was penalised. Mm. And look, let me tell you something. This is going to be a minefield, this thing now. It really is. And the other thing is as well, I was under the impression that a passage of play had to be continued to make that decision. The ball went out at the other end when she got called back, the referee, for the VAR. So we'd played a passage of play, and then that came to a conclusion.
Did you see how long it took them to cancel England's goal just after half-time? Before the
ridiculous.
And
what about that?
And the Portugal and Switzerland game. You know,
I never saw that.
Well, the Switzerland was a penalty kick.
I was watching women's football.
We were watching the women's game.
Portugal went up the park. Portugal went up the park, and they should have had a penalty, but they pulled it back and
to give it to Switzerland.
Because it was a penalty.
Well, here's my next question. And we might as well lay into it now and get it done. Have we now been shouting for VAR and created a Frankenstein's monster? Yeah. Has it got up off the table and clattered us?
Yeah. Yeah, because there's nobody clarifies what it's supposed to do and nothing else. It's just opening up as Chick Nolan would say, a worm's nest. Yeah, it's exactly how it is opening it up. It's a joke, Bill. It's a joke. And that's what it is.
It's, I think there was about 7 minutes added on to one of the games.
Yeah.
And, and if it's going to happen like that, I see the referees get about maybe 5 or 6 decisions to go to VAR in a game. How long is the game going to last? But this all came from when they were talking about over America, they stop for this and they get decisions in this.
To be fair, what we did was, we started all saying, if it can work in rugby, why can it not work in football? We were all saying it. So we're all to blame for it because we shouted for it.
The rugby concept's absolutely perfect.
But we don't do it that way.
We should have did it that way. Yeah. And that way, because you know what it actually has done? Rugby have actually set it up. They actually set it up for us to take it on. After watching rugby for so long, where your guy who's up in the stadium, there's one guy, make a decision, dialogue between him and the referee, everybody hears it, job done.
Well, what they do now, which I think is great, the referee stops the game and said, I've made this decision, can I award this? Am I correct? Yeah. They look at it and say, you can do it, or no, you can't because of this.
Well, I just thought we got a wee bit of a rough ride with that yesterday. That was.
But if these guys are making the decision up there saying, wait, this is a penalty. Why does the referee have to say, well, I want to see it for myself? Is he...
Well, that's what I'm saying. The referee shouldn't have to say it for themselves.
If they're saying that's it, and there's Shelby saying that, and for everybody to know, right, this is the decision, the VAR, it's a penalty kick. Because the referee goes over there, and he looks at it and looks at it again, time comes on, and it's... I know it may be quite exciting for the ones that he's getting awarded.
Right.
But I also think that, it could be holding the game up. What if your team was in momentum, and you were playing, you thought you were saying, right, your team's in the ascendancy here, and they were, obviously, they're running the game at the time. They're the team that's in top and that. Then something gets stopped, and it maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Then your momentum's out the game. If I was a manager, I'd be a wee bit disappointed, that the game's been broke up.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be a wee bit disappointed. I'd be absolutely bealing.
Well, if the game's broke up, and if it's broke up for a length of time, and you feel that your team, are beginning to get their game together and they're passing, and I don't know. I don't know. We've all agreed to have this. Well,
but to be fair, Jerry, we've all campaigned for it, especially on the back of last season, where refereeing decisions came into highlight and were put under microscope as much as they were. However, the way that they're doing this, and there seems to be an inconsistency even in that, in some games, in the Premier League in England, the referee doesn't go and look at it. Mm-hmm. He gets told, this is what's happened. Yeah. Now you've got referees in FIFA and UEFA tournaments away looking at it after somebody's told them, blah, 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 away they go. There's no consistency with this. We're worse state now than we were with the inconsistency of referees making a decision.
Yeah.
Well, when is it coming here? Is it planned to be in Scotland?
Well, it's not planned to be in Scotland, but everybody's shouting for it.
So
Willie Collum made a video and came out and said without it, we were going to be in a backward nation kind of thing.
So what happens in an old firm game and there's a VAR? Imagine it, Jerry.
Yeah, but if every the other top leagues have got it, we've got to have it.
Yeah, we do. We
do. As simple as that. And obviously,
but they
we just got to
can't
go along with
operate
this.
it in different ways.
Yeah,
They've got to operate it in the same way for everybody.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, and if that's the decision they're making, if it's one rule for everybody, and that's the only way they're going to go forward with it. But you says then it becomes inconsistent. This is where you get the arguments. This is where it causes all the problems and being indecisive. And saying, well, would that have happened in that country? Would that have happened in that country? Would they get away with that?
Well, I mean, you saw the game, the Portugal-Switzerland game. Have you ever seen anything like that in your life where you're reviewing for one team and you end up giving the opposite team the penalty?
Well, I was watching and I'm saying, that's a penalty kick. I says, I bet this gets pulled back. And even, the commentators were saying, what's going on here? They thought that Portugal were going to get the penalty kick. But I had a feel, I says, this is going back to Switzerland here. Then they cottoned on to it. And again, I mean, you're thinking you get a penalty kick down there, but,
You've lost one opposite
You've lost
side.
one on the other side. That's, can you say it's exciting for the punter, exciting for the
fans? Well, I don't think it is, because it stops the game, breaks the game up. And I mean, not being funny, by the letter of the law, it was a penalty against Scotland yesterday.
Well, I don't agree with you.
If you consider it was an unnatural position.
The ball touches a player's hand or arm which has made their body unnaturally bigger. Now, that girl she was shaped up to go and close the ball down, and obviously your hands are going to go. It says Jerry, you can't go and close a winger down with your hands behind your back. You'd be falling all over the place. It was an absolute joke, and it was a shame because
it sucked the life right out of Scotland.
Well, I think it was Nicola Docherty who didn't have a great game, I've got to say, against a girl, Nikita Paris, who gave her an absolute torrid time.
She did in the first half, not so much in the second half.
Well, then we brought in another left back who wasn't much better. I thought second half we deserved something out of the game. I thought the first half we were like rabbit in the headlights.
Yeah, I thought it played up.
I think they were quite nervous. But second half they can be proud.
We gave first half. I think we gave England far too much respect.
Yeah,
and I thought we played very narrow and allowed them down the channels easily.
Both sides they hurt us, Bill. Both fullbacks got a bit of a hard time. In fact, we're back four. We're pretty timid.
But it was an awful narrow back four. I mean, it didn't seem to have any great width to it. And the one thing that we didn't do, because we didn't have that width, is we'd no real out balls. They were pummeling us at one point, and the ball was coming out, going back straight to them. Because we were playing so narrow, there was no out balls for us.
Well, you can see the gap. You could see the gap in quality. The girl Bronze, who plays right back for says earlier on that Phil Neville. We don't always agree with Neville says. Probably agree with none he says, but he says the right back for England's the best player in the world. He's a quality player, the girl Bronze, and Paris, who gave us a real torrid time down the right hand side. But whatever was said at half time, Shirley Kerr deserves massive plaudits for that.
But I think what we did as well, I thought we got forward better and we played a bit wider so that you could see the link up between.
As well. The girls looked really fat.
Yeah, you could see the link up between the backs and the wingers.
Aye.
And we were starting to go down the channels. The girl Emsley in the first half was missing in action. Second half, I thought she was excellent. She took the ball. I tell you what I liked about her. She went looking for the ball.
Aye.
In the first half, I thought there were too many players were trying to offload the ball too quickly. Didn't want to take responsibility.
Do you know what I thought on when it went live, Jerry? They showed you the stadium we're playing in, and I'm going, I hope we don't freeze here, because it was very intimidating. It looked a world stage, and suddenly where the girls in general from the world football have came from, a lot of them will get in these stadiums and go, This is tough here. This is maybe they've not all been used to that. Yeah, they've moved on, but to go to that next level, it's like, the men's football one, we keep saying, it's okay playing well but then going to the next level, not everybody can do it. And it's very similar with the girls. It's very, very similar. I thought the crowd was quite disappointing as well. But a big stadium. I don't know what it was, 15,000, 16,000.
Something like that, yeah. Just under 14,000.
I just thought if the game had went another 10 minutes, I think we might have got a second, So it's...
I thought they get caught on the occasion in the first half.
Aye,
and I think that's what Shug's saying.
Well, I certainly think the penalty sucked the life out of them.
Well,
that was sore.
They're getting out there. You've got to remember, the England girls, they've been in competition, the big competitions. They've played in World Cups, they've played in European Championships.
Exactly.
Scotland's first time in it, and for the girls, and I think they must have been in at half time and said, wait a minute, we get a goal here, we've got a chance. Because this England team isn't as good as you think they are.
No.
They were actually, it was down to more Scotland, performing in the first half than England being good, for me.
Well, I don't think the problem is, I know we had the ball in the second half, but we didn't look like scoring, Jerry.
No,
we kind of overran them a wee bit. Fitness-wise, I thought was very good.
The wee girl Corbett, I thought she was decent the first half.
But Jerry, she's having to come back deep and take the ball and then attack, and she used it well. But here's the thing: if you're going to play a lone striker against a big defence like England, do you play somebody that's 4 foot nothing as your lone striker? Not for me. You let that wee lassie play in the wee cheating role, the wee hole, and let her just kind of get in and go past people.
Well, I looked at. I thought when she was running at people, she was causing them problems.
Absolutely.
But I didn't think the Scotland players and midfield players got up, to support her up, because it was one of the times she'd hold the ball and she held it and waiting.
She shrugged about 3 of them off.
And obviously when you see it, if they know the way she plays, so they've got to go up and support her. She will cause problems the way she buzzes about, and I felt she didn't get the support. But what I seen in the second half, I think they just started self-belief and says, hey, we're as good as them. We've got a chance.
But I think they'll take a lot out of the game.
So do I.
I think they'll take a lot out of the game. At the end, if she's got a hold of them in the dressing room at the end, they can go, listen, we've proved we can compete. They're the third best rated team in the world, England. Yeah. As Jerry said, played at World Cups, third in the world. We're 20th, still going and climbing and getting better. I think a lot of our players this morning will be quite happy, reasonably happy with their performance. We've got Japan on Friday at tea time. Now, what an opportunity we've got. I know they're decent and they're seemingly very technically very good.
Yeah, they are.
But I think what we've taken, if we can take, confidence, and I'm pretty sure we can take confidence out of the performance yesterday. Thought our goalie was outstanding. Lee Alexander had some great saves. Yeah. Rachel Cossaid, for me, was the best in the back four, but made quite a weak challenge for their second goal at the centre back. Kim Little did decent in the middle of the park. And Erin Cuthbert, as I say, but Claire Emsley's got a 7. It was Gary's over there, Gary Ralston, and this is the one player in the Scotland set up with a trick in her armoury to unlock the English defence, and her goal was a fitting reward. And I don't know, but my wee dog got a fright of his life when Scotland scored. I was shooting like a nutter, and the neighbours must have been wondering what was going on. But no, I was up for it, and I was looking forward to the game all day. When have we ever, no disrespect, got so excited about the game, the women's football? It's
well, I'm going to say something now, and I know you're going to rip into me for it, but you know what? I have watched every game. The only game that I missed, apart from the one today, is the Norway one, which I've seen the highlights of.
Does your missus make you watch it?
No, she doesn't watch it. She'll not watch it, to be honest with you. I watch it, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And this sounds terrible, but it's not meant to. See, by the time I got to the second game, I missed every ponytail, never looked at anybody's legs or anything like that. That sounds really sexist, but I just looked at them as footballers.
Footballers, aye.
And that was it. And that's the way I've continued to look. And I've got to say, the one thing I'm a bit puzzled with, because I saw them watering the pitch yesterday, during the Scotland and England game, but these pitches seem to run awful slow. I don't know if you've noticed.
Just zip about.
They seem to be running very, very slow. Every park.
You still watch a lot of that women's beach volleyball?
Yeah, I still watch that as well, but I watch that for different reasons.
They're talking about the World Cup here.
But I have to. What I've done, and I have consciously done it, I've looked at as footballers, and I have enjoyed it. I'll tell you something. Australia got an absolute beezer of a right back. What a player. I forget her name, but an absolutely outstanding player. She was great against Italy the other day. Australia got robbed.
Short odds on.
They got robbed. They took a wee bit of a doing in the early first half, but when they settled down, they were really, really good. They moved the ball well. quite physical. They got the foot in, but the wee right back that they've got, absolutely immense.
Good.
Looked for the ball, ran up the channels, could take people on, could tackle, whip the ball in like you need to see it and like to see it whipped in. Absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. The big number 10, and I can't remember their names, but I can't remember a lot of the names in the men's World Cups and things anyway. But the big number 10 for Italy was a class player as well. What a lovely touch. I tell you who else has got a cracking... if you watch Jamaica, they're number 4. Suave, I think her name is.
She played last week at Ham, didn't she? Was that the week before?
Suave, I think her name is. Big number 4. What a player. Plenty of time, looks up, sees the pass. Not a hard worker in as much as a lot of industry. She's one of those luxury players, a bit lazy, but when she's on the ball, she opens a game up completely. Excellent. Very, very good.
Technically, it's, we spoke to Shirley Kerr all the years ago, Jerry, when we went first on, Bill and I, and we had her on, and we spoke about her when she got the Stirling University job. Yeah. And obviously we spoke about, dealing with being in the dressing room with the guys and all that. And she, she didn't shirk any questions at all, didn't she? No. She says, I'll deal with it the way I need to deal with it.
She done a coaching thing at Stirling. We were there. It was part of her pro licence, CPD, and she put on a wee session. She came across. She's a confident person,
Confident girl, yeah.
Confident girl.
Made an MBE as well, I've got to say.
Well, I don't know what that's all about. But
what do you mean you don't know what that's all about?
I just honestly don't know what that's all about.
Why?
Well, I mean, there's been guys in football for 40, 50 years and won this and won that. And
have they got their national team to the World Cup for the first time?
Well, I mean, does that earn you an MBE? No, I'm not saying
that. Does Andy Murray get a knighthood for winning Wimbledon?
I'm going to get down and I'm going to say, is it because, is it because it's the women's football and she's taking a women's team a big competition for the first time in World Cup?
I suspect,
so you get that alone. You get that alone as well. I just don't understand it. Look,
but sexy stuff.
You say what you want. I'm just saying I don't understand it. I don't understand a lot of the MBEs.
The
only person I would call sir as well is a teacher. That's all. See, there's sir as well. That's for me. I don't know.
Well, that explains a lot with your attitude to me when you come in.
I say son, don't say sir.
All right, son.
Sir Bill.
No, but. Look,
I think that's a bit sexist.
Nothing against me. You can say what you want.
But I agree with you. Nearly 50 years in radio. Nearly 50.
You get nothing.
And have I got an OB, a CB, or an MB? I haven't even got a CDM, a Cadbury's Dairy Milk.
Well, I don't mind if people earn it,
Listen, I can see. All kidding aside,
I'm assuming, and I know I'm not being funny, but I'm assuming you do recognise the feat of getting them to the World Cup for the first time, though, and you applaud that.
Right. See if she maybe went about 5 World Cups and she was maybe about 70 or something, and, you say, well, she's earned it then, So that's just my personal opinion.
See, like for OBEs and MBEs, they get paid for that. Do you get money? No, is that
it's just letters after their name. Yeah, it's just the kudos.
You think you've done enough to get one?
It's just the kudos.
You think you've done enough?
I had GTF.
I'm going to get back to football.
I've had hundreds of GTFs, Jerry.
Well, a few from me, I have to say.
The dance.
I'm talking about that. Did you see Sid's response to Gary Lineker on Twitter? Gary Lineker wrote, "Well done, the Lionesses, winning their first game after a plucky performance from the Scots. We like our Scots plucky." And we said, "Here's a Scottish phrase for you, GTF."
Is that Simon Dollar? Well done, Simon.
Absolute cracker. I thought, well done, son.
I know.
What I'm going to say, the good thing about Scotland now, they know what it's all about and get into the next 2 games.
I think you're right.
As I say,
to qualify for the group, yeah.
Yeah, I mean Argentina.
As I know, the third, the 4 of the third.
The best third can go through, but I think it's the top 2.
Yeah. I think we'll get better as the tournament goes on.
Listen, Argentina are in absolute turmoil at the minute. They're having a miserable time. The Japanese are very skillful. They've been into women's football for a long time. They've hosted, I think I'm right in saying, the World Cup maybe once or twice. They are in much of a development stage, but here's the thing, the Japanese are very good technically, but they play a lot of football in areas of the park that don't hurt you, and then they break quickly. they're not big in stature.
No, well, obviously,
You know, we should be able to beat Japan.
physically.
But yes, but you know they're fit girls.
Oh, they
you
are.
know.
I mean,
and technically they'll be able to.
not
Keep the
only
ball on
that-
the ground. You know who cares what size you're?
they'll keep going and keep going. The Japanese. I mean, they will. They're super fit.
I think Scotland will take great heart out of their second half performance. You know, I know, and it's their first World Cup, but I thought the first game was always going to be hard for them. Against them.
and I
But I'll
think
tell you what, I don't think England look even near as if
Oh,
they're
you know
one
what
of
it's
the
like.
champions.
You know what it's like every time England go to any tournament
Yeah.
for anything.
Listen, I heard it today again, that big Chris Kamara, you know, on one of the ads, you know, doing the one for the pubs down south. You know, the Lionesses, you're coming home and all that stuff again. It's just an absolute joke. They expect
but
to
you
win
know, it
everything.
never stops. It's the same
Unbelievable.
every time they go to a competition.
Well, you know, I think Shelley Kerr deserves great plaudits for what she's done for the women's game. She was a great player, did well, went to Arsenal, very well, highly rated, nice person, and I think the MB is just rewards for all the work that she's done for the country, to be honest.
Do you know her personally, Shug? Is that how you're saying this?
Well, no, I don't know her personally, no, because you know, I've never been.
You know something, I
Yes,
must
you
honestly...
have. Yeah, see, this is.
I'm
yes,
going to
you
honestly
have.
say-
she was in for Let's Hear It for the Girls one night. Shelley, as we were going out, she was coming in, and we stood and spoke with her.
I'm losing the plot, and I can't.
I'm going to
That
honestly
many
say...
women in your life, you don't know who you talk to half the time.
Shug,
Thanks for that.
I don't actually... I didn't know who she played for. I can't remember her playing.
Arsenal was the biggest club that she
Because I've
played
never
for.
really watched women's, and I'm going to be honest, I've never really watched
No,
it.
no, Jerry,
I'll
listen,
support. You're right. I'll get right behind Scotland. I hope Scotland go and do well, and I think they will. But I mean, I didn't know. I couldn't have told you a girl that played football a year ago, 2 years
The
ago.
one
Shuggy, just before they go on, somebody's just tweeted in, all those years in football, and Shuggy only ever got an STD.
Oh, your missus knows.
Oh dear.
But you know,
Strong, that one. How does he know?
well,
He gave it you.
we've got somebody to watch now. You know, we can.
But I think when you look at, you know, Shirley Kerr, and then obviously, you know, the main person there was Big Fleet's girl, Julie. You know,
Well, I remember Julie play. I remember Julie.
You
Yeah,
know, she kind of has missed out on the next level. I think she was full time for a wee while at Arsenal.
she went to Arsenal. Yeah, she scored a lot of goals for
A lot
Arsenal.
of goals for
She was
Arsenal.
probably the better known player that came out of Scotland. One of the best known players.
She's
You know,
probably,
and she-
Jerry, she's probably the all-time, you know, great women's football in Scotland, if you think about it, the amount of goals she scored.
Well, you know, now they're getting more exposure now.
Oh,
That's
we
it.
certainly
Now
do.
they're getting behind it. You know, that's fine, albeit, but I can't wait till the men's football's back on. That's all I'm saying.
Well, there's a lot. Listen, I was the same. We spoke to, as I say, numerous people coming on the show over the years, and I was never that convinced about it. I think at the end of the day, the media kind of, when you read it, they force you to watch it, you know, that way. And I'm certainly buying into it. I like to see, you know, the way they pass the ball, they control it, they go and head it. You know, they do everything the guys.
I'll tell you what I like. There is none of this cynical every time they get a wee bump, they're rolling around. There's none of this wrestling with each other in the 18-yard box
And it's
when it comes
unlike-
to a corner.
Yeah, well, it's been unlike women in my life that's maybe no exaggerated a wee bit.
You mean simulated? In other words, faked it.
I wasn't kidding. But you know what I mean?
You know, maybe we are. I mean, you're brought up watching the Pelés, the Cruyffs, the Maradonas, and the Messis. You know, it's going to be taking a long time for to try and win people over. You know, to watch women's football and look at it in the same way. I don't think we'll ever. You know, women's football is women's football. That's it.
But there's a lot of women don't like watching the gents. Can't they turn it on?
that's,
you know that way. It's
hey,
the same
look, I'm not getting a problem with that. I'm just saying, I can't get excited and watching women's
Well,
football.
let me ask you a
gonna be
question.
honest.
Yeah, but why is it? It's because you keep saying women's football, women's football,
Yeah.
women's football.
Aye. Well, that's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, but why don't you do what I do and just look at it as football?
Well, I like to see.
Do you watch
football?
do you watch under 19s or under 16s or things like that? Would you watch them if it was lads playing?
I've watched a lot of football.
Yeah,
lads,
well,
and
right.
that.
So they're not
Right.
playing at the same level as the men, the top flight men.
Right.
So just look at it as football at another level.
Aye, I know what you're saying here, but I mean, I would think any good 16-year-old boys team or any 17-year-old boys team would beat any women's team in the world. That's my honest opinion. There you are. Any good 16 or 17-year-old boys team.
Yeah, but I think that's because it's a different game.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No, but you're saying it's a different game because it's women. I say it's a different game because, OK, they're women and they have to play a different type of game and a different style of game. But I'll tell you something, there are teams, and the Aussies are one of them. They're not slow getting stuck in. They're really not. And they play some lovely football, and they play what I would call... The Australians so far are the team that have looked more like what you're talking about as a traditional men's team.
How could they get beat?
They got robbed.
Did they really?
They got robbed.
Well, I'm all for boys, girls, men, women playing any sport involved in being active, right? All I can say is that women's football is women's football. I can't say women's football's up there. I can't say that. Okay, granted, you look at some of these girls that come through now, and they're technically they're working at their technique, and that's fine, that's good. But I'm just saying, when you're brought up watching the best players in the world, it's very difficult to turn around and say, right, get into women's football.
Mm-hmm. I've not found it hard.
I think they might. I think a lot of guys.
Having said that, I've got to be honest. I've been a big champion of women's football. I think it fills a layer in football that's missing, and especially in Scotland, because I think we need that layer to be there if Scottish football is going to flourish in terms of bringing new people to watch the game and giving an extra layer of finance to clubs. My hope from the World Cup, and I genuinely mean this, is that it will get more coverage on TV, mainstream, and it will allow sponsors to recognise properly. We're very lucky here that Scottish Building Society and SSE sponsor, football, women's football in Scotland, and they've done it for a while and been very, very, very targeted in doing it. And so from that point of view, that's a great thing. But I hope now that more sponsors will see the value in the game, that you'll see more games on TV, mainstream, and you'll see teams, especially Scottish teams, get stronger and better. Let's not forget Glasgow City, for example, have played in the Champions League for women.
Yeah, I know that.
And to be fair, we punch well above our weight generally at club level.
I've coached girls over in America, right? And one thing they have got, great enthusiasm, and they want to do well. Yeah, of course, it was obviously big in America, and they were throwing money at it, big money over in America, and that's where it's all coming. And America always throws money at their sports. It's came a long way since then, right? And I just look at right now. I look at women's football and I'm going to be honest, I find it difficult to get in and watch,
There's a lot of people like that.
I watch Scotland.
Yeah,
I support them, but I wouldn't rush home and say such and such games on the night.
Aye. I think I've got to kind of echo Jerry's thoughts and opinion on that as well. It's no something I would always have watched, but I watch my country. The more I watch my country and see them doing well, the more I want to watch the game. Because we all want to see our team winning, don't we? I was getting worried just when it went 2-0. I'm going, oh, no way these lassies will not be able to take like the 6-0 that they got, the last time. But again, it shows you probably how far our game has come, that we managed to hang in and done ourselves justice.
It's quite interesting because having watched all of the games and most of the games, you can see where the male influence in terms of the style of play is reflected in the female game. The Spanish, who I thought were very good technically, moved the ball well, and they were terrible in the final third, but they moved the ball well. They created a lot of space. Yeah. They played like the Spanish men's team. Mm-hmm. But again, they were ineffective in the final third, and that was down to them. The French obviously had a cracking result against South Korea as they open things up. And they're going to be hard to beat. The Italians are a cracking team as well, technically. Again, a lot of free movement. I tell you who I watched yesterday, and I thought they were very, very good at it. Who was it now? What was the game on just before? Who did I watch just before?
Jamaica, wasn't it?
It was Jamaica. Who were Jamaica playing? They were playing... I watched them all. Yeah, Brazil. That's who it was. Mm-hmm. See, the Brazilians. The Brazilians were absolute class at this. They get the ball in the midfield and they play two or three nice wee passes, and then somebody launches this ball into space, and there's nobody there 1 minute, and the next minute somebody's there. And it's an obvious tactic. They just say, we know where the space is, they open up the space, and then they hit the ball into the space, and then it's the strikers that have to chase it. But they never fail, they never miss, and they're always there. And it was absolutely great to watch. And I was sitting, and seriously, I was quite enthralled by it.
Time to eat your dinner or something?
Because I just thought to myself, I had it in my lap while I was watching it, and I thought to myself, this is great play. You know, they've got a style which works, and they were picking, you know, Jamaica apart at the back just with these balls into space and letting the strikers run for them.
You think the way your game went as well? How many times have we seen the guys being like that? Caught up a little bit, get back into it, then nearly.
Well, there's my point about how the women's team seem to reflect the men's team.
Aye, very. You know, we've watched Scotland
maybe a mentality
for years and years do that.
Well, we'll see. I think there'll be a lot of mismatched games in this World Cup.
Aye.
Because the French the other night were playing South Korea.
Aye.
And honestly, the biggest girl in South Korea must have been just 5 foot, and the girl scored the 2 goals ahead of her. And she didn't
giant.
Really.
She's a giant. Yeah.
You know, and that's why I think they're going to be mismatches. I'll tell you what, I'd rather watch some of the games and listen to some of the girls commentating, especially in England. I thought that one girl who spoke any sense yesterday was a Scottish girl. Was it Gemma Fay?
Yeah.
Right, and I'm listening to this girl from...
she was a goalie, Gemma Fay.
So was it the American girl, Hope Solo or something. And I'm listening, I'm saying, you kidding me on here, you know, and the other girl who actually is on Sky.
Oh, no, Alex Scott, her name is.
Is that Alex Scott? The only one I thought spoke any sense was the Scottish girl.
The girl Alex Scott is getting absolute pelters for a lot of people for the amount of work that she's getting. It's actually quite funny to see when she's on Sky. Souness doesn't even look at her. Souness just, you can imagine Souness at the best of times, and he just doesn't want to listen to it. I think he's a bit of a knuckle rap for that. I think towards her. They seem to, I don't mind her again. No disrespect. I don't mind, you know, her talking about the women's game, but you know, when she's in about the men's game, she's never played men's football, so I can't understand what the exposure she's getting. In the media.
Let's not forget that you have to have an inclusion and diversity policy at all places now, including places like here.
Yeah, but you know, there's not a lot of men on commentating the women's game, is there?
The boy that's doing it on the red button on the iPlayer.
No, I'm talking about like being, you know, a pundit. I don't think there's many unless they've been involved in the women's.
I know where Shop's coming for you with this, because she's talking about, you know, commenting on world class players, guys, you know, and what they should be doing this and that. And I don't know, just for me, it doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
You know, I like to listen to guys who played the game, like Shearer and that. And there's some, don't get me wrong.
Well, Shearer and Ian Wright have said that they wouldn't do the women's game because they didn't have enough knowledge of the players.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm
saying. But I listen to Robbie Savage, and Robbie Savage, oh my goodness, he would put you to sleep. So there is guys,
we're not looking very good here in terms of, you know, the women's game. We're looking a bit knuckle draggy a bit here in terms of.
But that's where we are. Then look, I'm just giving you my honest opinion. You know, as I say, I'll support Scotland.
No, I'm happy for you to do it, Jerry. I'm not criticising you.
But I can't say to you that I'm getting any, and I'm not getting any.
Let me ask you a question. And actually, I'll ask you 2 questions. The first one, actually, Ewan asked me in the office. Ewan, our producer, asked me, and he said, "Are people watching it because they want to watch it, or are they watching it because they think it's a politically correct thing to do?"
No, they want to watch it. I watch it because I want to watch it and I want my country to do well. You then look at it when, you know, do you ever think that there'll be a woman footballer good enough to go and play in the men's game?
Well, that's something that's just been tweeted in. It says, "Lads, will we ever see mixed teams? What do you think? After all, there are now women's refs, lines people, senior management, so could this happen in Scotland?"
No.
No for me.
No.
Not in my.
I just think the physicality of it for the start.
That's it.
You know, the pace of the game that the gents play or the guys play compared to what we are watching right now. Now, let's not forget what we are watching is the pinnacle of world football. Now, some of these are maybe a lot of people are screwing their face up at it and going, "Oh, I'm not what to watch." You know that. Now, it actually, if you actually strip it back to some of the quality that must be in the country who are not actually good enough to get to national level, then it must be kind of average a lot of games. It must be quite average.
Yeah, but you can apply that to the men's game. There's a lot of people that don't get to the pinnacle when it comes to the national team in the men's game.
But you'll still see challenges going in. You know, you can still get. I think always get a wee bit. I think you'll always get a wee bit more excited watching a guy's game than a women's game.
But this is what we're doing that's wrong. We're looking at it in terms of making a comparison. Remember? Mm-hmm. Apples for apples.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that. This isn't the same game. In terms of, it's the same game in terms of its football and the laws are the same, but they play it in a slightly different way to accommodate various things. The women are very good technically. Mm-hmm. They are very good technically. Yeah. There's a lot of men not as good as the women are technically, in all honesty.
I wouldn't agree with that.
Well, I would.
But you've got to remember, you know, that's the level. You've got different levels of football here.
Of course you do. And that was the point I was making earlier on, about seeing women in a different layer. They're not there competing or to be compared with the men's game.
Well, that's what we're saying, but then we're never talking about you see a woman playing...
Well, that's somebody else that asked that.
Well, do you think a woman, a girl boxer, could get just say a world champion?
No, I don't.
Right.
I don't.
It's because he's right. Physically, they're not as strong.
But I'm seeing girls playing in boys' teams at a young level. I'm seeing that.
That's fine. They're all playing football together.
Doing well.
I'm talking professional level.
They're not fully developed.
Yeah, but if more girls play in boys' teams at a young level, surely they'll develop in the way that a boy would develop.
Well,
because they'd be playing in that game, they would get toughened up. They you know.
Well, if you watched the documentary last Monday, and it was very good, and all those girls were all given the chance to go and train with the boys when they were young, because there wasn't as many ladies teams in the go, and they stuck out because their football did the talking. Because now they've went into they couldn't get into the gents game because of the physicality and the pace the guys play at. It's very...
Well, here's one for you. This is Ewan again just told me this. Jenny Beattie played in my pro youth team and was by far our best player.
Ewan?
Yeah.
Oh, that tells you all looking at him, didn't he?
Oh. He's lost a finger somewhere. He's only got the one up.
But, you know, and I know there's not a lot of young kids coming through playing football now. Probably women are taking more interest in it, you know, than a lot of the young boys. And that's a problem we're going to have, because a lot of young boys are not, you know, they've got different things to do. They're going down different roads. They're not into the football the way we were into football when we were young, because we could only play football. Or that was the only sport we had, or that was the only thing we could do to entertain ourselves.
Yeah.
Where now, it's a different society. Mm-hmm. And that's where I feel, you know, that's why we're not producing. And I remember watching and listening to Gordon Strachan, and he says that the bottom line is, the teams we're playing against have got better players than us. And if you get better, the oppositions get better players.
Yeah, I was prepared to accept that, Jerry, till it came to the bit where we're too small.
Yeah, I know he's coming.
You know what I mean?
But I know where he was coming from there.
Well, I know where he was coming from, but the reason that they've got better players is because they've got better infrastructure. They put more money into the game. We had the boy on the other week who was over from Norway, talking about, you know, how many pitches they had at his club, and they were a League Two part-time club who trained kind of full-time. You know, that's the difference. It's the same in Iceland. Iceland, they've got this infrastructure that gives people the opportunity to play football, to develop as players. They've stripped everything back. If Belgium are not the best team in the world by fluke, they were going through a torrid time and they just closed everything down and started to rebuild.
I'm not sitting here saying that we've not got some good young boys coming through. I look at the boy Gilmer.
Yeah, but we'll waste them.
But the boy Gilmer,
do what we normally do. We'll waste them.
The boy Turnbull, I think, who can become a top player. The boy Ewan Henderson, I've seen at Celtic. You know, I think he's a bit of quality. Boy McCrory's come in. He's been back out and back in. He's come in early.
Well, the young boy Dallas at Rangers is turning a few heads.
Yeah, but I think we have got some good boys. We've certainly got, you know, and I'd like to see all these guys come through at the same time. And maybe we get an opportunity at that, and they bring, you know, it comes in cycles. And that's the biggest problem we've got. We've got maybe too much a gap where we've had, maybe when we were at Hibs, we said with Scott Brown, Kevin Thompson, Whittaker, they all come through at the same time. Riordan, Kilmarnock with Chris Boyd coming through, Burke and Bagan. Mm-hmm. These guys all played in cup finals, Burke and Bagan, that. But after that, then there was a spell.
Dries up.
We didn't have the players coming through.
Yeah, happens,
and that's the problem. You've got to try and keep this conveyor belt going.
Yeah.
And that's where when we get a gap.
Yeah, but the reason we get the gap in the conveyor belt shrinking is because young boys don't see young boys making it in our game, because we've got a load of foreigners in different teams and things like that, and that's where it does cause us a problem. There's too much at risk in terms of success. You know, you look at Hearts. Levine's got pelters this season, yet he's played 3 or 4 young boys. The boy, what's his name, Aaron? He's just 17 today. Aaron Hickey, they've been playing him. Yeah. He's 17 today, and they're wishing him a happy birthday, and he's getting his chances. But Craig Levine's getting pelters because the team are not where the fans want them to be. And that's part of the problem.
He's getting pelters because of the way the team's played. Well, and he's getting pelters because he hadn't won any games in his last 10 at the point. Win.
Yeah.
And I've been at the games, and they've been dreadful to watch.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I think Craig Levine deliberately puts the young boys in so he'll not get stick for the fans.
Well, you might be right. But you can't deny that one of the problems we've got is that we don't put young players in. They don't get the opportunities.
Well, if they're good enough, you should win. But it's easier to bring in young players when your team's doing well. To bring 2 and 3 young players in when the team's struggling, then it affects them as well. Different than in, they're coming into good, they've got good pros in about them, good players who are playing at the top of their game, and they're winning games. But coming in and losing game, these young boys are going to... You've got to... I know I'm no one for protecting young boys. I'm just saying they're good enough to get them in. But they've got to be coming into a good environment and a good set up and a good...
Just going back to the women, are we going to get through to the knockouts, do you think?
Well, I think Japanese are I've seen, and I think it was the last World Cup, and I think they got to the last stages.
Yeah, they got...
They did. They've done very well. The Japanese are ahead of the curve when it comes to women's football. They got into it very, very early.
But, as I says, it'll take heart the way they played the second half. And no, it was as if, for me, they looked a different team because they had a bit of self-belief. And they know, hey, we've arrived in this big stage, we better start performing. Because if they don't want to be getting away for this World Cup saying they never turned up. And, but they've got 2 difficult games. And if you look at the England game, they were very unlucky the second half.
In real terms, it comes down to a VAR decision.
Yeah, of course, but we might have been a wee bit unfortunate. We say, over spilt milk. The fact that the way the fixtures came up, where we got them early doors. Could we maybe go in Argentina, got a victory, kicked on. But I tell you better than that. I think you learn. You learn from your mistakes. We made mistakes for 45 minutes. Then get better. We didn't do much wrong the second half, and I think we can go into Friday fully confident of getting a result against the Japanese. I really think that our fitness levels were good. We didn't, we were strong at the end. I think we should be happy with that. Should be happy with our own performance, the manager. The fact that she's managed to kind of galvanise them, get them going at half time again.
So I think it was better getting in and playing against England the first game.
Well, maybe, Jerry.
Because
rather than need to beat them to maybe qualify and you're back over the road. So that's a good point.
Because they've saying to themselves, well, we've competed probably against one of the favourites. And we showed we can go and match them. So if that doesn't give them confidence going into the next game, then nothing will.
Listen, at the end of the day, we're still very, very raw when it comes to world football.
I think you made a good point, though. I think they'll take a lot from that second half performance, and they'll have learned a lot.
I think, I think going back to the hotel last night, they'll all be disappointed we lost the points, but toe to toe, we went toe to toe with them, and with all those, that gap between them in ranking, I think they can hold their heads high.
Listen, one of the things I say, and this tells you how spirited the performance was in the second half. If you read all the reports in the English media and heard all the reports in the English media, it was, England managed a win over Scotland after, Scotland came back in the second half. It didn't say, the usual stuff.
Well, you've seen Neville at the end of the game. He's giving it the Phil Brown one, wasn't he, out in the middle of the park, trying to humiliate him. But he's a bit of a trumpet anyway, isn't he, to be honest with you, Neville. It's all about him and what he says, him and his brother very like. But we gave them a fright, Bill. We gave them a fright. Late on that second half yesterday, he must have been shaking a little bit, thinking that we were going to get an equaliser, because there's no way back for them. If they wouldn't have beat us yesterday.
Here's a question for you. Many people, do you think, watched it on telly yesterday in this country?
5 million.
No. Million?
6.1 million.
Yeah.
In this country.
Yeah.
I thought it might be, Jerry.
How many people do you think watched the men's game England against, was it Switzerland?
Switzerland.
Half 500,000.
I would say.
After that.
In this country.
Uh-huh.
Maybe 100,000.
1.23 million.
1.23.
Well, but, you know, I never watched the England and Switzerland game. But again, you know, we love the England when they talk themselves up. It's like the men's team. They're all overrated. I don't care what MD says.
Well, I agree with you.
Overpriced, overrated. Every one of them. You know, I'm talking Harry Kane as well. You know, good players, right? Good players. But for me, I know up there. No the top level for me.
No, yeah, that's mental, the money. But you're not getting into that. You know, they're talking about the Crystal Palace right back. Young boys just broke into the team. 50 million. You know, a couple of offers.
Who's this?
Is it Ivasaka or something? I think is it
Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka?
Oh, this boy from Crystal Palace.
Big right back.
Yeah.
But it's already been offers. Rangers are in at 45, but we might get outbid.
It's, you know, but
45 quid.
It's the usual, you know, but that's where I always say money will ruin football down there. It'll ruin it because you get average players going for 50 million.
Unbelievable.
Average players.
But that's what happens.
But you're not going to get 50 million by average players.
That's what happens when you distribute £2.5 billion to your clubs.
Well, yeah, I know. I think that could be their downfall. And you know, it's all right.
Listen, there's going to come a point, but it'll be a tipping point where there'll be implosion.
I think when you're looking at the women's game, and we've watched the gents game for 40 years, 50 years. You know, you obviously a bit longer than Jerry, maybe a wee bit longer than you.
No, I think I'm not. I think I'm older than you, Jerry. Am I not?
I'm not even going to say on here.
Anyway, so you know, we're obsessed with the game, aren't we? You know, we love the game of football. All we've done is watch gents football all our life, guys football. Suddenly the women's onto the scene now, and we're still learning it, if you know what I mean. And I think it's very difficult to compare.
Can I ask you a question, both of you, and please be honest?
Right.
Do you think it's because, and I use this for want of a better expression, right? So don't take it literally, it's for want of a better expression. Do you think because of the way things are, especially in West Central Scotland, do you think that we're a wee bit socially retarded in terms of our acceptance of women and women's place in football or anywhere?
Just because I think we brought up in an era when it was all the guys, we played football and watched, you know, there wasn't.
But do you think we in Scotland,
do you think we're holding myself back?
What I'm saying is, do you think socially, because of historical values,
probably, yeah.
Do you think that we're a wee bit kind of behind it all? Are we still living in an age which is no longer there anymore?
Mm-hmm. But then again, was that age when we were brought up, was that better or worse than the era just now?
Well, I don't know that you make those kind of comparisons as literally as that, Jerry. But
maybe that's what we're just about.
I know what you're saying. I'm not being critical because I include myself in it as well.
No, I know.
But I'm just wondering, because I sometimes feel, and you come back to sectarianism again, sadly. You know, it's been going on for 300-400 years.
Yeah.
And is it right that it still goes on? No, it's not. Because it's not a question about, it's a historical thing ingrained in us. It's a thing that we're willing to embrace for no good reason other than bigotry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it's a good point. And maybe everybody needs to question themselves and ask themselves that question. Are we sort of
Guys, I'm not being critical of you or anybody else. I'm just asking the question.
I like the question,
which I think is a question that needs to be asked.
It's possible.
Very hard to change your views, Bill, if you've been, if it's the way we've been. Very, very difficult.
I agree, but I think you've got to have it's very difficult for everybody to change their views, yet other people have embraced it more readily and more easily than we seem to in Scotland, to be fair.
Yeah.
Well, the 18,000 a crowd at Hampden, so a lot of people are maybe changing their views about it. I'm just thinking, when we were brought up watching the best players in the world, men's football. So it's very difficult to look at women's football in the same light and saying, they're up there with these guys.
Let's not forget again when we can maybe have a wee bit of a safety blanket here, when we still are a very, very small nation. And it's hard enough, and I'm not comparing them, but they say it's hard enough getting a really good Scottish men's team in the park No, this is a new sport, not a new sport. It's still raw, the sport here, as in getting the women right on the scene of being footballers. I think they deserve, massive pats in the back for what they've done and how they made them look yesterday. We did not look overawed. Apart from the first half, we've came a long way in a short space of time, Bill. I know the women's game's been there a while, but really been in our thoughts, talking about it on the show, been in the papers, reporters going what, it's still in its early stage. I think there's still a lot to come for it.
But we've got to be more open when we think about it.
Yeah,
we're never going to embrace it properly if we don't have an open mind about it.
Listen,
and
we're no daft. We hear guys making comments about it.
For me, an open mind means that you compare it to other women's football. You don't compare it to men's football.
Yeah, I think that you could talk all night about it, Bill, and that just kills the conversation. You cannot compare it with men's football. But because we've watched men's football, we do it. It's not inherently. It's really not that great. But I'll tell you something. It's going to get better. They're going to get stronger. There's going to be more investment, and they will. But I'll never catch the men's game. We know that. Yeah. But I'll tell you one thing: they're not there to compete with the men. They're there to compete with women v women.
Well, that's what I say. It's different levels. I think you see like your Julie Fleetons and that. I think you've got to give these girls great credit because they dedicated themselves, their profession. I went to Arsenal, was a full-time football player. A lot of girls will be looking at that, and that's where they want to be. And you've heard them saying this. They always grow up, they're starting to grow up now, and that's where they want to be. They want to, they've idolised the Julie Fleetons, and they want to become the same as them. And now they've got it now on the stage, and good on them. Good on them. I'm just saying it's a different level for men's football.
Okay. Guys, firstly, let me thank you for your honesty tonight, and it's been an interesting kind of... It's been a kind of interesting conversation. I'll tell you what does interest me. It'll interest me, the conversation we've had tonight against the conversation we have at the end of the tournament, when we've had a chance to see the tournament grow and get, right into full flow, and we do take more of an interest and watch the teams. It will be interesting.
I generally think we'll get better. I think we'll get better as it goes. I think we'll learn, and I think we'll get stronger. I don't think the two games that came up...
Right, a good result for Scotland. Argentina, Japan finished nothing each.
All right.
So that's a good result for us. Listen, we'll take a break. Okay. Talking of the men's game, they were in action on Saturday. We'll discuss that right after this on Rock Sport.
The wait is over. It's been 21 long years since Scotland qualified for a major football tournament, but that wait is now at an end. The Scotland team is ready to give it their all for the nation in the 2019 Women's World Cup. Follow Shelley Kerr's team throughout the competition on Rock Sport Radio. Get the latest from the Scotland camp and keep up to date with team news and results. Coverage of the 2019 Women's World Cup from France on Rock Sport Radio in partnership with Scottish Building Society, proud sponsors of Scottish Women's Premier League.
You've probably heard the lines before. Have you been involved in an accident? Were you the passenger? Here's something you might not have heard. G4 Claims can help you with your not-at-fault claim for free. They supply a like-for-like replacement vehicle. They can set up your injury claim and don't take a percentage. All your compensation comes to you. G4 Claims services are free, with charges going to the at-fault insurer. G4 Claims. Not-at-fault claims made easy. See notatfaultclaim.com.
Looking to sell your house fast for cash? Freedom Property Buyers offer a free no-obligation offer within just 24 hours, allowing you to move on. Whether you're in financial difficulty, facing repossession, looking to sell an inherited property, emigrating, or are simply in need of a quick sale, we can help you get there in 3 easy steps. Call 0141 258 6963 or visit freedompropertybuyers.co.uk. Freedom Property Buyers. Consider it sold.
Have you ever lost money on an investment? If a high street bank persuaded you to buy a stocks and shares ISA, unit trust or investment bond and you lost money, you could be entitled to thousands of pounds in compensation. It doesn't matter if you no longer have the investment or can't find the paperwork. You could still be owed thousands. Text GOOD to 66777 and Goodwin Barrett will start a free assessment to find out how much you could be owed. Text GOOD to 66777 and Goodwin Barrett will call you back.
Love music. Live sport. Talking football with Bill Young, Hugh Burns and Jerry McCabe on Rock Sport Radio.
Okay, let's move to the men's game now. A European qualifier. Of course, Scotland still have the opportunity to qualify for the Euros through the playoffs of the league. But it was proper European Championship fixtures at the weekend, and Scotland came out 2-1 winners against Cyprus. First of all, guys, if I may, let's have your thoughts on the team selection.
Well, the goalie was obviously the talking point right away. That, you know, he's come totally in for the cold. David Marshall, obviously.
3 years since he last played.
Well, you know, listen, obviously it was vindicated. He never done anything wrong, looked quite secure. I think not that long ago we were wondering where David Marshall was. Far less than getting into, you know, the start lineup and Stevie Clark's probably biggest call, you know, in his first game. Never done anything wrong. Obviously, again here in the record, is surprise starter. There's always been a safe pair of hands, forced to make a few more saves.
I think Stevie Woods was instrumental in bringing him back. David Marshall said that after the game.
Well, it was a big call, and there was one or two. You know, I think the team, when you looked at it, kind of picked itself. I think obviously Eamon Brophy made a tough task up front. The way he was, a lone striker, put himself about. You know, it's amazing how people have different opinions. Just talking to you and who was at the game, you've got an opinion, Andy Robertson, Jerry's got an opinion, I've got an opinion. And according to Michael Gannon in the record here, it was 8 out of 10. Now,
who was?
Andy Robertson.
All right. Okay.
I didn't see an 8 out of 10. And apart from the goal's probably got him. He says we can forgive him for napping at the leveller.
No, you can't. You cannot forgive an international player for napping that gives a goal where a guy sticks it in with his head and doesn't have to jump off the ground to do it.
Well, just to carry on the quote from the reporter, this is the way Andy Robertson was described as playing with us on Saturday. We can forgive him for napping at the leveller, as his goal and all-round display was world class. From Michael Gannon.
That's somebody that's still thinking about the Champions League performance.
Dragged his side to victory. Now, as strikes go, he's capable of doing that because he's got a wonderful left foot. I didn't think he was my best player. We all watched it. I thought Kenny McLean did well. I thought Ryan Fraser as well linked up.
I thought Fraser
linked up decent actually with Robertson. That's quite a nice wee tandem they've got going there. Stephen O'Donnell, did he do anything wrong? I thought the back four in
the only
general.
thing about Stephen O'Donnell, and I would say that I was happier with him defensively than I was the first time I see him play for Scotland.
That last night was more a better.
But he doesn't offer anything in terms of going down that wing.
No,
for
and he
me.
should do because
not enough.
But what about the run he had in behind? You know.
Aye, but that was on the other side. That was in the inside left position.
Yeah, that's what he does. But I mean, getting in there and getting into that position,
Jerry,
that's his energy.
Yeah, and that shows you that he should be able to go down the channel.
Well, I think that'll come with Big O'Donnell.
So do I. I think that he's finding his feet with it.
Technically, who would have thought that Alan Hutton would have played so many games with Scotland?
Yeah.
I'll watch O'Donnell and I watch him very closely. I think O'Donnell technically is probably a better player than Alan Hutton. Alan Hutton is a great engine. Up and down, up and down. O'Donnell's got a great touch. He overlaps, he can whip it in. I've watched him on it a lot of times. And I think the more O'Donnell will play, I think he'll bring his club
I agree with you.
He'll bring his club form to the international scene. And I think...
But how long is it going to take?
But I think the manager will get him there. I think, Clark knows his capabilities. I think the Kazakhstan debut on Astro, it was just an absolute shambolic display with everybody. It's one you can wipe out. But Big O'Donnell's kicked back yesterday and done well.
I agree. I would just like to see a wee bit more out of him in offering a threat down the channel.
In the middle, two centre-backs, they're quite comfortable with that. McKenna gives the ball away a wee bit slack sometimes, but tell you what, Challen McGrew as well. What a career he's had.
Yeah, I know to bring him in, his experience, but I felt a wee bit imbalanced there. You've got two left-footed centre-backs.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's what I feel. You've got, obviously, Robertson left-footed, but McKenna and Mulgrew left-footed. How have we not got a right centre-back?
Well, you see, here's the thing, though. Right? You've got a situation where McKenna plays on the right-hand side for Aberdeen, but played on the left-hand side for Scotland.
Yeah, when Considine's there, he brings Considine in to play on the left, and yeah, you're right.
And McKenna plays on the right.
Yeah, he played a few right centre-back. I'm saying, why not get the balance right there? Is it because Charlie's experience had brought him in, or they played him, and McKenna came in, to sort of talk him through the game? you got to remember, you know, the two left centre backs. Preference, I would like to my centre back, my right centre back, right footed, are both footed, you know. But these are quite predominantly left footed players. We go back to O'Donnell, Stephen O'Donnell. I think he's got great enthusiasm going forward. I think defensively, you know, he gets caught because he wants to drive forward.
But I didn't think he was getting forward.
No,
Jerry. I thought if anything, he was getting caught in no man's land a wee bit sometimes, where he'd started to advance but didn't see it through, and then left that wee gap behind him.
But he's still raw, Bill.
No, listen, I think I agree with everything you've said. I think if anybody gets the best out of him, and it'll be Steve Clarke.
Yeah,
and I think you'll start to see him play
I think he's the best
as well as he does for Kelly.
I think he's the best right back we've got. I think he's the guy who... His team finished third in the Premier League. He hardly missed a game. Good fitness levels. Can put his foot in. Good in the air. Jerry says, aye, sometimes he leaves his cell a wee bit open.
Yeah.
And maybe bombing on too much.
The thing with Kilmarnock, Shog, you know, you get Dicker who sits there, and Dicker covers for him, and that's what he does, and that just allows him. And Steve Clarke said, you go, this guy will sit for you, and that's what he did. I don't know, was it McLean that was sitting in that wee hole? Was that this, you know, there another left-footed player coming over at the right side, getting dragged over at the right side if O'Donnell goes for, maybe he was a wee bit tentative and going forward as much. But as I say, as I've seen him with Kilmarnock, always wants to go forward, but saying sometimes defensively, I think he just goes gung-ho at times without, you know, he'd rather make 10 runs and maybe make 5 decent runs, you know, in his time in these runs, but he's just got this in him that he just loves to go forward, and he proved that way, trying to make a run through the middle, and he's through. I thought he should have scored.
The boy said himself he got a nosebleed.
I thought he should have dropped his shoulder because the keeper was down and just rolled it in.
But the boy did say himself, I got a bit of a nosebleed.
Yeah, listen, you know, we all watched the game and we all thought, oh, here we go again. We get ourselves ahead. Can he go and kill the game? Stevie's first game shows a lot of emotion when Big Ollie Burke goes up for a header, comes back, he reacts, he puts it in the net, and he's now a world beater, and that's the way it is. And we'll take it because we need to win. And he made a great
statement. It's points that we're counting there.
Well, the manager said that. He says, listen, I know it wasn't said before the game. He says, but if we win today, we're gone. So, you know, he comes out and he's always got an honest opinion for Stevie Clarke, and it was good to see him on the Sadie Park getting his first victory. For, you know, the first time for a long time, there was quite a feel-good factor going into the game because they've appointed a guy who they all wanted in the job, and that's been a long time before we could say that. So, you know, I think the way he had the shape of the team, I quite like the McGinn in there on the left, and you know, Roberts in the left, and okay, they've got a left-sided, you know, full centre back. So he's got that shape right there. Maybe the right side, maybe just not get as much shape because Forrest was disappointing.
I thought Forrest was terrible.
Yeah. And I thought
McGregor was poor as well. I didn't think McGregor ran with the ball enough. That's the point.
I think they looked tired in the cup final.
People like McGregor's played something like 60 games this season.
Aye, McGregor's a wee buzz bomb. He runs in, you know, Duracell, the wee man. He keeps going and going and going. He wants it all the time, but Saturday
Forrest was very disappointing, and I was disappointed with McGregor.
James Forrest for me is so frustrating. If I'm James Forrest manager, you could feel the buzz when he gets the ball. You know, you can, because he's got ability.
You're just making bullets for him, because I know his feelings on James Forrest anyway.
Listen, I've said that James Forrest doesn't actually realise what a good player James Forrest could really be, but you can't install that hunger in a player. You can't install that. You can maybe make him better defensively and improve his crossing and all that. But see if he's no one to do it. Yeah. You're playing against the wind, Bill. You're not getting anything out of him. He was worse than a man short wide right on Saturday. He really was. We could have been playing with 10 men, you wouldn't have missed him, Jerry. You know, he was...
See, for me, and even, you know, watching with Celtic the last couple of seasons, I don't think he has prolonged periods in the game. He'll have 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here. Overall, if you look at Forrest, he's done something, maybe 20 minutes in the game. And that's my biggest criticism of James Forrest, because when he goes on and he is in form and he can do it, but it's inconsistent for me. He'll play 20 minutes a game, 25 minutes a game, and they'll say, what a game he had, and I'm saying, watch the game.
Jerry, you get the sports writers and the players.
Yeah,
I cannot believe. And I'd spoke to, I think, Gary Ralston about that, and Kenny McDonald, obviously the guys know their stuff as well, and everybody's got an opinion in the game, but I could not believe, maybe the players gave him well, I don't know, they'll know better than me, they're close up and they see how good a player he can be, but I don't think he had his best season with Celtic, and I certainly can't see how the sports writers managed to give him it. Anyway, given that, he's still our probably only option wide to our right. Is there any pressure on James Forrest? There's any breathing down his neck to go and play wide right? Probably no. So, that tells you another thing. He's in a wee comfort zone there, Bill. Because he is the players and he's the sports writers and he's expected to start. But I hope Stevie Clarke has got big enough ones to say, tell you what, see, if you're not doing it, you're not going to play, regardless who you play for.
I will give him credit for he works back away now, when he didn't used to. Right, and maybe that was Brendan Rodgers what he wanted me to do, and he was doing a lot of defensive work and helping out when it was Lustig or whatever. But when you've got a player like that who's got that ability, the biggest frustrating thing for me is they don't do it consistently. They don't go and want the ball. If the ball comes, I'll go and try and do it. Go and demand the ball. That's what good players do. Good players that have got that ability. They want the ball because they want to go and do something. They want to excite the fans. They want to excite. They want to, go on and get the winner or create. And for me, he doesn't do it often enough.
I don't think I've ever seen James Forrest, for all the good games that he's had, as in doing things as Jerry says, and bits in the game, going and really grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck and going. Imagine having ability, right, but having pace as well, Jerry, to burn.
Well, the only time I think he's ever done that I can remember, I've seen him do it, is against St Johnstone when he scored the 4 goals.
But he scored a few goals for Scotland as well last season. Remember, he got a hat-trick, didn't he?
I think all the 4 came in the first half. In the second half, I'd have been saying that when he scored 6.
Aye. That's right, exactly. He scored 4 in the first. That's a good point. That sums him up. That exactly. So imagine sitting in the dressing room scoring 4s at half time. You'd be like, fill your boots here. But he doesn't look that tight. Even sometimes when you see him, and he just looks, I don't know, as if he's just not got that bit between the teeth that he wants to go and hurt defenders and laugh at them. And have that wee cockiness in him.
Just show how good you can be.
Exactly. But I don't think he's got that in him, Jerry.
I mean, that's...
you see wee good wingers of the years gone by and they laugh at defenders and have a bit.
They want to go and torture people, don't they?
He doesn't want to do that. He does not want to do it, Jerry.
Could they have played Ryan Fraser on the right side, I mean, he's made the goal, he's come in on his right, and he's done that with Bournemouth and played that side a bit. I mean, I think that boy's capable. I like Fraser. I do. I think there's something about him. Right. I think he's got a bit about him.
Yeah. Done well.
But when you look at this, at least we got the result. That's the main thing. You're right. If we wouldn't have won, they're doing big questions. And I know we're talking to you, and you was at the game, and he says we're getting booed at half time. I did hear a bit of that, but maybe it's the expectations. The new manager coming in, but you've got to remember you still get the same quality, the same players.
And then, of course, a lot of these punters that are booing, they're looking at Cyprus as the whipping boys and all that. The games are away now, Jerry. There's no gamies.
They're no mugs. There's no
gamies. All these separate players. Don't get me wrong, I think I heard Big Presley was talking about saying that they are predominantly home-based players and maybe no full time. Majority of them are, because a lot of foreigners go and play there as well. But I just think that we dug in, and sometimes you need to do that. And many times have we been unlucky. We took a bit of luck out the game, scored late on. Dust ourselves down, we go in and get a wee easy one tomorrow night.
I will say the boy Brophy, I've watched him and I've sung his praises all season. I think he's a right good player. I couldn't believe in Hamilton let him go when he come up. Works his socks off, but he's up a level, but he's up there playing his own. I thought, he run about.
He didn't know what to do.
He tried, and that's it.
He looked a bit isolated, didn't he?
He didn't know what he should be doing.
When you're bringing a boy in like that, his first cap, and you're bringing him in, and you've maybe say, right, partnership, playing experience, but if we got that, and maybe that'd been better for Brophy.
Jerry, when do we ever see any team playing with 2 now?
Well, I know. We're hammed and we're playing Cyprus.
I know. Well, it's ready to go, exactly. Boom, we go, but you never see
any between me two. I was surprised at how we sat off them and let them. Okay, they weren't hurting us in any particular areas, but I just thought. I said this on Friday night. For me, if you don't go out and you don't show intent in your first game against a team like Cyprus, and that's not to belittle Cyprus.
Yeah, I know.
You're right. These are not bad players. There are no gimmies anymore. And a lot of these players are playing elsewhere in Greece and elsewhere on the continent. But the bottom line is, I just felt you have to go out and you have to show your intent. Because otherwise, people are going to come back and say, well, what was the difference between Alec McLeish's first game and Stevie Clarke's first game? Now, we got the points, and that's great, and we should be positive about that. But I want to see, even though it's against Belgium, I know it's going to be a harder game. I know it's going to be a different game. I know that's the time that we do have to kind of make sure that we're strong and we're tight and we don't lose our shape.
Yeah.
But going forward, I want to see us do something in terms of, for too long we've gone out not to lose rather than go out to win.
Yeah, I just think Clark will bring a different mentality to it. Once he gets his feet under the table, gets organised, there did seem to be a wee bit of his mark on that team on Saturday. I quite liked all those players you look at and they've all got something to offer. I know, listen, McGinn didn't have a great game, but he worked hard. Forrest has got more to offer. Brophy, as you say, was a wee bit isolated.
Yeah.
Robertson, you could get a wee bit more, as much as Michael Gannon thought he was Roberto Carlos. And McKenna gave the ball out. So, a lot of nerves there on Saturday to win that game. We won.
You've got to remember, McGinn's played a lot of games as well.
He's
played
big
the playoffs.
games.
I don't think you're going to get these guys. These guys are not at the top of their form right now.
No.
Not at the end of the season. You're talking about June now. These guys have been playing since probably last July.
They have.
Okay,
no break.
There'll be winter break and that, but even that, they're in there training. I'm not making excuses, but I don't think you're going to have top performances at this, time, especially June. In the middle of the year, where they've been playing nearly the full year round. I honestly feel that's maybe a bit of fatigue in that. A lot of these guys, and they played in cup finals. The Celtic boys have played in cup. McGinn's playing in playoffs like that. I just feel that they'll be wanting to get this game, the Belgium game, out the road and get the boys away, rest,
totally.
have your break and come back fresh.
Yeah, but it was good. Certainly, I was out with Alec for the studio, and we were in the horseshoe as with the football boys.
Do you introduce yourself as Alec's friend or his carer? Which one do you introduce yourself as when you're out together?
No.
I think you should ask Ali that question.
Well,
I don't think you can ask Ali that question because he wouldn't know.
He says he was getting a good bit of chat with a female, but he was. I heard him was blabbing on about being on the radio and announcer and all that, and this bird was taking it all in and all that, and that was funny.
She believed
in the horseshoe.
In the horseshoe, aye.
Okay, right.
Aye, it was funny. But her carer was there as well, to be fair. So we had a bit of banter, but there was a great atmosphere for the game. And that's, I've been in the city the last few games where it's been quite flat, obviously. But there was just a wee freshness about the game on Saturday for me. And as I say, I've watched Kilmarnock last season. I've watched Stevie Clarke do his work. Everybody's cup of tea is quite dour, and that's the way he goes about it and what have you. But actually, if you know Stevie Clarke, he can be okay. He's got a bit of chat about him and he chat away. And I just think he brings something a wee bit different to our game. And I'm more than
Have we done what we traditionally do and just expected too much for the first game?
Maybe because a new manager, you always say when a new manager comes in, he gives you this wee lift, the players get a lift. They've been talking about how his training's been great and, he's been very positive about the place. Obviously that's what you want for your manager. But I just feel it's this time in the season and I don't think you're going to get the best performances. I'm just looking at McLean as well. He's just been, what a season he's had as well.
Brilliant. Aye.
And
he's really looking the partner. I think that your promotion's going to kick him on again, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. And
good player.
McTominay, I like McTominay. I mean, he's not Man United for nothing. Put it that way.
That's right.
But
I've never seen him actually do anything, but then again, when I've seen him at Man United, he's come on as a sub and played in games where they've been trying to either claw things back or consolidate, or I've seen him be put in the back four as a centre back, and that's a waste of that boy.
Playing a bit of an average team as well, Bill, when things are
I agree.
And listen, see if he's doing the business at Man United going well, he's probably in the team on Saturday.
Yeah.
But, the fact that he's no been starting with Man U, which is great because a lot of managers would go, he plays at Man United, he's going to play. That way. And they get in the team on that merit.
Well, and you still get Tierney to come back, and you get two probably the best left backs.
Where does he go with that one?
No.
What does he do? Does he
Well, they've tried to play, they've played Tierney forward one before, haven't they?
They not push Andy Robertson on one. Played with a 5. Played with 5, Jerry. Played with Robertson as the back three.
And he played
wide left, didn't he? Yeah. Or was it Tierney and Robertson played wide left?
I think Tierney played the left centre, but did he not play that?
Tierney played it back.
Strachan played Tierney at right back a couple of times.
He did.
He did.
But you see, this is a bone of contention, and Jerry Collins and I went at it hammer and tongs the other week over this one. Did you make, because you've got two good players, do you shoehorn one of them in rather than play your best shape and keep one of them out? What do you do?
No.
I would. For me, I would play Andy Robertson before Tierney. I think Andy Robertson just offers a wee bit more on the ball than Tierney. Tierney's a good player. His fitness wasn't great last season. He didn't have a great season. The season before it, he was magnificent. but I just don't know. What do you do? Do you leave O'Donnell out and put Tierney at right back? It would please a lot of them if that happened. But Tierney's got to get himself fit. I know as he's been for an op, he's getting for an op, isn't he? And try to get himself fit again, the boy. So he's got a long way to go yet. But it's a headache for Stevie Clarke because he'll get pelters whatever way he goes with that one. But as I say, I thought with the middle of the park with the players we had in there, quite happy. Kenny McLean.
3 left-footed players in the middle of the park.
I know.
McGinn and don't get me wrong. I think I always say the left-footed players were the best players. Shug,
Okay.
Right.
That's right.
Well, I'm just saying you've got to get the balance right. Simple as that for me. But that's what we've got there. Armstrong, boy, I rate him highly. I think. He was a big loss to Celtic when he went and down to Southampton, and he's done well down there.
Okay, he's scored a few goals.
But I like about him, his movement and his running about, and he's got a great desire for me to play.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what we need, is somebody moving people about. But maybe we were a wee bit. He's brought players in he felt he could trust, putting Brophy in that. He's obviously Brophy's worked with them all season, but. I just feel
I just thought
Brophy
for me looked lost. I know it was a hard shift for him, but he didn't seem to me know what he should be doing.
Yeah. But you're going to another level again for Brophy.
That's the point Jerry made, and I agree with it.
I know it's Cyprus, and I don't mean that derogatory.
It's international.
It's international football. And as Jerry said, wasn't that long ago, he wasn't getting in the Hamilton team. Had to go to command, get himself fit. I think he's lost a wee bit. Trimmed up.
Yes.
Looks sharp. Seen again close up, big, stocky boy, big thighs, and he looks the part. So I think he's came a long way. And I read a great article today in the paper about him saying, he walked into his dressing room at Hampden on Saturday night and seen Brophy up number 9, and what that must be a great feeling.
Yeah.
To do that and see your name up on we never had any taps with our names in the back, wasn't it?
We didn't have any taps.
No, we didn't. Shared them.
String vest.
But it's true. It's a great honour.
Brilliant for the boy. And as I say, I've watched him and I rate him highly. But
I've always liked him.
I just felt okay. Maybe feel this is a game to bring him inside, but I'd like to have seen him playing up. Up top.
Something a bit closer.
Yeah.
But again, who would they have played up front with him? Would they have played Buck?
Well, guys, here's another thing. I'm not being funny, but you've still potentially got Lee Griffiths to come back as well.
Yeah.
Well, for me, he'd been all day long if he's right and good to go, and I believe with a good pre-season, he probably will be in Lenny's thoughts. And
another left-sided player, a left-footed player.
A lot of left-footers, Jerry,
A lot of left-footers. And Tierney, when he comes in, that's about 7 or 8, isn't it?
A lot of left-footers for my liking, Jerry, to be honest with you. But, I think you're right, it is all left-sided players. But anyway, listen, doesn't matter. You should be able to play with your right foot as well.
Of course
you are, but it's true, it is predominantly left-sided quality players that we do have. Down the right, maybe it's Forrest and O'Donnell. And I'm then beginning to think, who else could play there? Fraser possibly could, but he doesn't play there with Bournemouth, Jerry.
Would he play Burke out wide? Burke's played wide right before, but he's played wing back, I think, at West Brom, and I think that was a problem. He couldn't play wing back because the defensive side of it.
Guys, I'm not being funny, but I don't think we should get carried away because Burke scored the goal that got us the 3 points.
No, I'm just saying position.
Is Burke somebody that you'll see as a regular Scotland player in your view?
See if Burke's
seriously.
See when he first came to Celtic, I says he could do a job. But then for some reason he just went off the radar.
See the current form of Ollie Burke, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he's shown that, right, and he's playing in, say, the Kilmarnock team, Aberdeen team, would he get in the squad if he wasn't like an old firm player?
No, I know what you're saying.
So the old firm thing has probably got him in.
But that
happens. That's always happened, Bill.
He's had 2 moves for 15 million, and you don't
25
unless
million,
you do your
25 million in the paper this morning. 2 moves for 25 million.
Was it not 15? Was it not 15 and 15, or was it 15?
I don't know, but I read that. 25 million pounds.
Somebody's seen something in him. I honestly thought when he came to Celtic, I said, this could be a good sign for Celtic.
It was a cracking bit about Ollie Burke.
McBurney, where was he? Was he in the squad?
I don't know if he was, to be honest with you. I can't remember the squad.
He said no, but look, this is.
See, I don't like McBurney. I think McBurney charges around.
Yeah, I know.
I think
I'm
he just runs about
I'm a big lover of him,
McBurney.
but I'm just saying that's another one that's playing at a high level down in England, and obviously, he'll be included if he's producing it down there. I just feel, as I said earlier, we're not going to get top performances right now out of these guys. So we'll get through the Belgium game, and hopefully we don't get a doing. Hopefully, we go in there.
Listen, I'm glad I found it, because it was Steve Clark that was quoted with Ollie Burke, and said, listen, he says, we need to wait and give this boy a bit of a chance. He says he's moved about, a couple of moves that's maybe just not worked out for him. He's still raw, and I'm still quite prepared to work with him. So, obviously Stevie Clark rates him. You don't become a bad player overnight, and he's got ability, he's got pace. Jerry says when he went to Celtic first, maybe me Murdo talk about him.
But let's ask the question. Let's be absolutely honest. Is he a one-trick pony? Is it his pace that everybody picks up on rather than his skill? Because he's got a terrible first touch.
Well,
and he has to start halfway back in his own half to get that pace up.
Well, if that's what he's got,
he needs room in behind to play. Yeah, that's it. But I mean, even his goal, right, the header comes down and he just calmly slotted it away. Well, I was waiting. I've seen players putting it over the bar.
Wait a minute.
And he's in net.
To be fair, Ollie Burke's missed easier chances than that this season.
Yeah, I know.
Very true.
So your heart was in your mouth when that was going on. He got up well. I mean, that was from a standing start. He got up a hell of a height. It was a well-taken header. It was well guided. He was unlucky it didn't go in and it hit the post.
No, it was a good
you're
header.
right. He was alert enough to put it in, and he did it properly.
It was a great ball into the box for, I think, Ryan Fraser, was it? Worked it in, which he does for Bournemouth week in, week out, and there's a lot of interest in Ryan Fraser doing the business with Bournemouth. I think Aberdeen as well. I've got a wee sale on me, and Big Craig was telling us that's a few quid if he moves on. I think they've got a sale on.
Because it says it reported that Arsenal that were interested.
Oh, they've got a sale on, Jerry.
Well, he's been consistent for Bournemouth, and he's a regular.
Aye.
I think Steve Clark will just be delighted you get a winning start.
Aye.
That's it. Albeit it wasn't the best performance, but it's getting the result. We could have been saying it was sitting here 1 point, Cyprus at home. Say here we go again.
Yeah.
Right, what do we do against Belgium tomorrow?
He says he's got a plan.
What do we do?
He says he's got the players.
Well, if you're Steve Clark, what's your plan, guys?
You don't open up to these guys.
You've got to take the point. You've just got to be as positive as you can, but for a negative point of view, you've got to be set up. He'll have a plan, how he's going to play, flush 5 across, hard to get in.
I think.
I think it's a point, Bill.
A point would be, listen, if we take 4 from 6,
but at least
I think we've won a watch.
Bill, see at least if we know that we're going for a point, and who knows, who would have thought that McFadden would have rattled one in for 75 yards in the Parc des Princes years ago? You just never know.
No, I agree.
You never
know. A lot of
know.
their players have had long seasons as well. That's what I'm saying. I don't think, and you've got your Hazard who's moved to Real Madrid. I think they might not even play him. But as again, we don't go and open up because they have got quality. Obviously, one of the best teams in the world. But then again, that's another team that's inconsistent. They've been threatening to win a big tournament for the last 8 years.
Still number 1 in the world.
Not done it. Well, I don't know.
Well, they're not unbeatable. You always look at it as we've always got a wee chance. We've always got a chance. You've always got a chance.
The other thing is...
Try to tell me they're above France in the ratings.
They are. They're number 1 in the world at the minute, Belgium.
Okay.
But here's the thing, guys. We always lift our games against people like this. It's the Cypresses and San Marinos and the
Give us a problem.
that we have a nightmare
against. That on Friday, didn't we? These are the games that we go and put ourselves and express ourselves against the bigger teams and never really have a major issue with it. You raise your game, but I'm looking forward to it. Again, it'll test him and against.
What changes, if any, do you see Steve Clark making in terms of personnel?
I don't think Brophy will play. I think he might actually start with Ollie Burke up top. The fact that we do need somebody just to go and work their socks off. I'm not saying Brophy can't do that, but he's did it on Saturday.
I think the one thing that Burke does give you is he gives you the irritation factor. Because he'll charge you around and charge you around.
He's a wee bit more
people.
physical, I think, than Brophy. And I think we need that. We need, if we're going to play with, a sitting midfield player where, I don't know how they'll set up 4-1-4-1.
They might play Burke up there and they maybe bring McTominay into the middle of the park. You know,
And maybe leave McGregor out. Maybe a game that he's not going to get on the game, you know, in the game and dominate the ball. It might be, right, we're going to be very, very difficult to beat. But I'll tell you something, if we go there tomorrow night and get a point, then
Feel like a win.
Of course. Then suddenly the country's on a wee bit of a high that we've had 4 out of 6 against the world champions, or the team that are rated, number 1 in the listing. So I think we take a lot out of Saturday. You've taken your 3 points and you go there and you go and express yourself, but don't go gung-ho. They'll know. You know, they might hit them in the break. Corners, free kicks, take a wee chance.
I think I'll just say stay in the game. Yeah. And you know, and you're right, you know, and they'll get a free kick or a corner and that, but they're saying that's a quality side we're playing against. But if we stay in the game, if we lose a goal early, you know, we could win for a long night.
But let's not look at, you know, Marshall, experienced, Andy Robertson, Champions League, you know, Mulgrew, McKenna, they're big boys, big lads, you know, and O'Donnell's a big boy and all. We're not a pushover. So if we go and put a shift in, then who knows, you know, if we defend our area, we give nothing away, no silly mistakes. Stay in the game, as Jerry says, and who knows, and stay in the game, stay in the game. Frustrates them. Don't know if Hazard will play. De Bruyne is back fit again. We see what he done at Wembley in the cup final. He's magnificent.
I think like say McGinn will keep his place. I think Fraser will keep his place. I don't think, you know, because, you know, Fraser's been producing it.
I think you see McTominay coming in for
McTominay. I think because
for McGregor,
he's good at what he does. McTominay when he's in it, and he's done it with Man United. He sat in that row in there, and I watched a game just near the end of the season, and he was Man United's best player. Mm-hmm. You know, and he's another guy. You know, it's a confidence thing with him. You know, maybe
that's a guy who played in the Champions League game when he beat PSG.
That's right.
Played in there.
That's
so
right.
You'll take a lot out of that. Big pressure game, but maybe Burke for Brophy. And McTominay for McGregor would be a couple of changes. I
don't know, maybe getting into the game on Saturday there, I think maybe one eye in the Belgium game, you know, obviously saying, right, we're at home, you know, we should get the result or we perform. I'll need a stronger side, you know, or a more sort of a solid side against Belgium, and maybe one eye in that as well. And that's how he's got through that one, so now obviously his focus is in this one. But I think Shu's right. I think he'll play the 5. I think he'll play 5 in the middle and really try and frustrate them and don't get opened up, because if he go opened up against a side like that, it could be big problems.
Could be a long night, But
my worry is against teams like that is that we can defend, and we defend for like 85, 88 minutes, and then we have 2 minutes where we go to sleep. And we lose a goal. But you see, I think you need good quality players to play that kind of game, because the concentration things is good. It's as important as the actual flair. And I don't know, sometimes I look and I see us just lose daft goals because we don't have that quality of player that can concentrate for that time at that level.
Especially teams that, you know, you're talking about Belgium. All it takes is 1 second and they switch off. You see, I feel as if you're doing well in these games.
I'm not being funny. I still have nightmares over that goal that Cyprus got on Saturday.
Yeah.
For that ball to come over and that boy to have a free header and not have to even jump for it, for me, is just...
Yeah, we turned off there, didn't we?
It's just unbelievable.
You can't do that.
Well, we got away with it, Bill.
We got out of jail,
We got away with it because we got the result. So
we got out of jail.
I'm sure Stevie Clarkson showed them the videos of these, you know, that goal on Saturday, and just said, look, we're playing against one of the best teams in the world. We'll get punished if we switch off. And, you know, again, all it takes is a lack of concentration for a second. But I say, against the good teams, they will punish you.
But you see, if you flood the midfield with 5, I think you've got to get where you play up the park right. You don't want to go too far up the park because you'll leave the space in behind. But at the same time, see, if you sit too deep, you're just inviting people onto you. And the law of averages says that they'll get something. I think we've got to have a line that's a fairly good line and it gets good position. They can play football all night for me. They can keep the ball. If we never get a touch of the ball, but we get a point out of it, I'll be happy. But having 5 there, I think we've got to get the position.
We've got to get support whoever plays up front.
Yeah,
it's simple as that. And what we've got to show that we're a threat. We can be a threat. Well, that's where your wingers come in here. That's where your Forrest your Ryan Fraser gets us up the park.
That was going to be one of my next questions. On the basis of what we saw from James Forrest on Saturday, is Forrest the guy that starts?
Well, that'll be the big question. I think he'll play Fraser. I don't know, he might not play McGregor, as Shug was saying. But whoever we've got in the middle of the park, if he's going to play the one with McLean sitting there, whoever he's got, the other two midfield players have got to get forward. The ones in front, they've got to get forward. Your white men have got to, because no use playing up to your striker and just keep them.
They're important.
Because it's just going to be, the ball's just going to keep coming back. And if the more possession they get, as you said, they'll open you up at some time in the game. Mm-hmm. So we've got to look as if saying, right, we're a threat going forward. Then it makes them think a wee bit. Wait a minute, we can't go gung ho here. This is, although it's Scotland, they'll be thinking we can't go, because we could get punished here, and they'll not want that. Whether we're capable of punishing teams, but we have got to go and show that we can be a threat.
I always feel like when you're playing against Belgium, they give you a wee chance. That way. I know they've.
I agree. They do.
They're World 1 ranking, but it's like it's no like that we're. I don't mean it in a bad way. The way maybe the Germans were ranked 1 in the world at one time.
And you could see why.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Or you go to
with
France,
Belgium. With Belgium, you've just hit it in the head. You telling me they're ahead of France.
Aye,
that's a great example of when you look at Belgium as being number one.
Or
you don't really see it.
You look at the Brazilians, there's always just some. I'll tell you what, Belgium have done well to get there. It's probably because they've no been there on a long term number one. That way they've got there, they've never won anything.
It's more about them not losing games than winning tournaments.
Yes, they're a great side, great quality players.
De Bruyne,
the other Hazard's brother is outstanding as well. So just in a move, they've got some great players. Lukaku will play. I think you can look after him. I don't think he's the player maybe he was, but I
certainly don't think he's had a great season. He's been in and out of the Man United team, Lukaku, this season.
With no disrespect to Belgium, you always go, I tipped as the last game, then we get pumped 3-0 and 4-0. You were laughing at me that Friday night, weren't you?
But that's because I couldn't believe that.
Just because we were at home.
I mean, they get the World Cup semi-finals, and everybody backed them to win it. And they didn't produce it. They didn't step up to the plate in the semis.
But guys, when you've got two players like De Bruyne and Hazard in your team,
magnificent. De Bruyne for me is one of the best players in England. He is the best player in the Premiership for me.
I'd agree with that.
In his position, obviously. But what we've got to do, and we're saying, if we get the wingers forward, I know you're throwing the ball into the box and you've got one striker in there. That's what I'm saying. You've got to have midfield players that are going to attack the ball. McTominay be that one that can again give us a bit of physical.
I think he'll come in, Jerry. I think
they'll play him. I honestly do. McGinn likes to get a shot at goal, because if you've got one striker in the box and you're crossing balls in, it's just we're just giving it away. And the problem is, as I says, if they get the ball and they're getting a lot of the ball, they will open us up. But as I say, stay in the game. That's for me. Stay in the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've got to agree with you.
Well, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what his shape is. I think we've pretty much gone with the five in the middle, all three of us. It's going to be interesting to see just how much of the personnel he changes, if at all.
I just keep going back to the Saturday one when I bet we all couldn't believe that Marshall started.
I was
never called that on Friday night, did we?
I was never quite sure what Marshall did to lose his place, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think... I know he was at Cardiff, and I think he's probably still at Cardiff.
He's still at Cardiff.
But the boy, Etherington, is it Etherington that was in there?
Yeah.
Fantastic goal. That's probably why he's not been in the Cardiff team, because the big Cardiff goalie's been outstanding.
Never stopped us from playing a player that wasn't getting a first team place.
Yeah, I know that, Bill, but I think because of Scott Bain has done so well, and McGregor making maybe another wee gap for somebody to come in.
Yeah.
That has opened up. Maybe that was always going to be in Stevie Clarke's thoughts if he got that job. And listen, I'm going to go with Marshall. Marshall has got probably more of a presence about him, I think, than Scott Bain.
Bainey's not the biggest, but Bainey's very agile.
Right.
He's very great keeper. See when his head's he's on it, he's magnificent. He'll probably save you like that. Oh,
really?
How did he do that? We had him at Dundee and he was magnificent. But then the other wee side of him is, if he felt he wanted to give me a wee huff, he's a different boy. You're wanting a different boy. But I think he's changed his way to sell it because he's in there playing. He's took over for Craig Gordon. He's played in the big games. He's been involved. But you're right. I always thought Marshall was a right good keeper. And I don't know, as Shug was saying, I don't know the reason why he lost his place. But maybe Stevie Clarke's saying, hey, you're still in the fold here. You're still part of my, I need you here.
Yeah.
Guys, I think one of the things we've got to remember, and we were saying this before, and me more than anybody, is we've got to give Steve Clarke an opportunity to build this team.
Yeah, of course.
Because we're expecting results again far too quickly. You know, even if he has to strip it back, I'm all for a 5-year plan, and people say, oh, that's ridiculous, 5 years. We've not qualified for anything in 21 years. If it takes another 5 and we get that qualification,
So be it.
and we can actually think that we're going to get that qualification, sorry, I'll take it.
I don't think, as you said, you know, the Belgium stripped it back all those years ago.
10 years it took them to develop Belgium
You know,
the way
I
they
don't
are
think
now.
any of our managers, whenever had the job, have come out in the press and went, listen, I want a 5-year plan here. I want a 10-year plan, because this is going to take time for me to get this right. It's always just been a case of win, 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 win. And we're not good enough to do that.
Do you know what's impressive if you look at teams like Belgium? Even though they've changed coaches and managers, they still play the same. They've now got a style of play, and that doesn't change from whoever goes in. All they do is fine-tune it to wee bits and pieces that
Well,
they
I think
like.
the boy Matt Wilmots, who was the manager there, had set it in stone for Martinez to take over. And I think it's just been very, very fortunate that players have became much better over the last 2 or 3 years for him. And Martinez is quite ironic that Sean Maloney's there as assistant manager as well. Who would have thought that would have happened, you know, that way? So, you know, his heart will be certainly watching his team win tomorrow night, but hoping that possibly deep in Scotland maybe do something as well. Aye.
See, the thing is with Belgium, you've got to remember they've got quality players, and they're all comfortable in their positions. But the quality players could play anywhere. But he plays his team whereas what they're all good at.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the bottom line. You've got good players who could tweak it here and there if he wanted, because you get certain players that
still
can
playing,
play.
Jerry. Company's still in.
Well, I think did they not just
Did he
retire there
retire?
because he's took over Anderlecht?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's great when you've got quality players like that, and you could maybe change your system a wee bit. But he plays these players where they all feel comfortable, and they're all comfortable because they're all good players.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think, obviously, Stevie Clarke's come in with 2 games to work with these players in 2 games, and he's get through the first one. He'll be hoping to get through the next one. Then after that, I think in the next couple of months, you'll see Stevie Clarke starting to work his way and get his players in and feel comfortable, because he's done it with Kilmarnock. They play a system at Kilmarnock. They're good to watch, but they do their defensive side. They all know their duties. The wee boy I was listening to the wee boy Greg Taylor, who I've watched. I really like this boy, young boy, and they know his job. And see when he goes forward, breaks down, they all know their positions, and you'll see a difference with Steve Clarke the next few months.
Yeah, I would think so.
Company, by the way, is in the squad. It's his final international.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
It's his final international.
Before he takes the Anderlecht.
Yeah.
Before is he not got a Scottish granny could come and play with us for a couple of seasons?
Jerry, I've over the years gone through every player that there is in the world to see if their grandpa even bought a fish supper in Anstruther or someplace.
There's another one. There was one last week. Stevie Clarke was looking at that. There was a connection.
There was a couple quoted last week that somebody, and a player that plays with him who's Scots, was trying to flip him. He played it under 17 something for England, and he was trying to flip him to come and play for Scotland.
What's his name? I
can't remember who it is, but it was somebody.
You'll probably get it.
It was absolutely last week. It was this player was trying to flip him.
I think that's the avenue he's got to
Was it
go
not
down.
somebody at Derby County or something?
I can't remember.
I read it about it.
Aye.
It's ironic how players pop up. And I do believe that once they've made the call and played, I think they should really just.
I'll tell you who it is. It's Ryan Fredericks, plays right back at West Ham.
I'll tell you
who
what.
Who told you, Ewan?
He's just
he was with Fulham, and I thought he was right good full back. Now I went overlap and plays right back. He's at West Ham now.
Well, they're trying to flip him.
Fredericks, that's right.
Right. Well, there you go. Nothing wrong with it, but
hey, look, every other country does it.
Yeah, of course.
Listen, I remember, and I know Jack Charlton really well, and I know when Big Jack was in charge of Ireland, painstaking stuff he went through to find the most tenuous link that he could to try and flip somebody to come and play for Ireland rather than no player play for somebody else. And I don't care.
See
I
all
don't
those
care.
Irish fans, they loved it, didn't they? Because
Of course
they were
they did.
successful.
Well,
They got to like 3 World Cups or something like that.
94,
Houghtonfield, Castle Milton, Andy
unbelievable.
Townsend, and Mark Lawrence and all the guys. They were all just, obviously with the connection. and the
Andy
links.
Townsend.
Kevin Kilban.
Aye.
You know.
Then I'm listening to
John Aldridge.
That's another one.
Scouser.
I'm listening to Andy Townsend one of the games. I think he was saying it was England. He's saying we, and I'm going like, do you play with Ireland?
Aye, did he? Aye.
You know, play with Ireland.
Aye, he did.
But no, look, the rule is the rule. You can argue whether the rule is a good rule or whether it should be just natural players from a country. But the rule's there, and if you don't use it, you're daft.
I think you can go back as go to your grandparents. That's about it.
Yeah, I think it is that.
As grandparents, yeah.
That's it. No, their
the big lad
their
definitely-
grandparents. And stuff.
Sadly not.
The one that's kind of rocked a few people over the last few months is the big boy Declan Rice, plays in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
West Ham had played at quite a decent level for Republic of Ireland. I think
That's
maybe
right.
even was it the 20s or something. You know, it was as high up as that, and then suddenly changes allegiances.
Well,
I think that's
Martin O'Neill gave them, every opportunity, but they scored. Who was it they beat? And
Montenegro.
No,
No?
it was the last game. Was it? No, the Switzerland game. The game before it. They played against Holland. Was it Holland? England during the week there.
Aye, Holland.
Yes.
Holland is it, and they scored, and he's getting all right, you know. And I'm saying, oh.
I know.
I've got to be honest with you. As much as I know the rules there, I believe if you represent your country at international level at any
level,
age,
yeah.
that's
You're committed. Yes,
that's
you're
you
committed to that
tied.
country, yeah.
And I've got to be honest, that I'm a stickler for that one.
Aye, I go
I
along
don't
with that.
believe if you've and whether it's been a friendly or not, I still
You've done it,
believe
you've done it.
That's it. If you've played for your country, you've played for your country,
Totally
and
agree.
that's the country you play
That's your-
for.
that's your chosen country.
And that for me that's not negotiable.
Yeah.
As much as I think it's great that you can try and flip people that have played at under 21s and under 17s
I
and
don't
things
think
like that.
we have. I don't think we've brought anybody in that have we? Have we brought him down?
I think there's a couple now that have
but-
played under
Chris Commons.
under 17 level or something for England.
Did Chris Commons not play in one of the
For
age
England?
groups in
I'll
England?
tell you, you just keep talking amongst yourself.
Well, there's certainly no that many sticking out at me that we've got. Well, I don't know.
But you say that it's not until you start looking at their backgrounds that
Yeah.
you see that they have or they haven't. To be honest with you, and that's the problem. It's just.
But you can't really blame the boy Rice for having that option.
No, that's good to have that option, but will he be? Well, they rate him highly, so I don't think he's going to England just to make up,
No.
part of a squad. I
No.
think when he played the other night there. But I think obviously the Irish thing, he knows he's going to be England. They're going to get more chance to be qualifying for the bigger tournaments.
Successful. Yeah.
No, Commons never played.
No,
at,
they don't.
never played at lower level for England. No.
They know.
But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where you think to yourself, if you can get them, you can get them.
Yeah.
If the rule allows it, I mean, look at rugby. Rugby now, you have to be resident in the country for so many years, and then you can qualify to play for that country.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. But it is a rule now in rugby that if you're resident, I mean, Big Amaruso, he was trying to get that rule put in so he could play for Scotland. Remember?
Yeah, we were touched on it.
Through residency.
But
And I honestly just think, that's just daft.
Aye.
Once you go down that route, it's crazy.
the few Americans, they had a lot of players who, because of resident in the country 5 years or something,
Yeah.
then they qualified to play for, America, and
Yeah.
they came from maybe countries like, I think, Mexico and...
Well, there was other players as well, like the boy was it Arsenal that went to Manchester United. What's his name? He plays for somebody. He's a Brazilian or something, and plays for. Who's the boy? He switched anyway countries.
The one Switzerland was the boy Costa. That was a strange.
Aye, Diego Costa.
Diego
That's
Costa.
it. Wasn't he the other boy I was thinking about? That went from Arsenal to Manchester United. But Diego Costa, that was the guy I was thinking.
See, no Brazilian, and he went
to Spain.
Spain.
Aye.
And what? See the boy that played with Rangers, the centre back, Rena, was it?
Claudio Reyna,
Reyna.
midfield player.
Yeah, but was he born in America? But he ended up, he played for America.
Aye, no, I think he was born in America.
You sure?
Aye.
I'm thinking somebody that was for Germany, or was born in Germany or something like that.
Aye, but he'd be born on. He was born if he was born in Germany. He'll have been born on a US airbase.
Airbase.
Is that what it is?
So that is classed as US territory. Let me just check.
Well, listen, I just think that when you look at our squad, the amount of players we've got, all playing, a lot of boys now playing in the Premier League in England, I think he'll be quite happy with his squad. I think, and it's amazing how a new manager comes in with new thoughts and how he wants to play and who he wants to go down, and all these players were still.
Now, he was born in Livingston, New Jersey. Claudio
Reyna. All these players were all still available to Big Alec. That way.
Yeah.
It's not as if he's been out and signed any of these players, Stevie Clark. They're not available.
I think, and what you'll get with Stevie as well, I think, the boys that do well in under 21s, I think he'll start promoting them. And see the boy, and I say, the boy Billy Gilmer. I watched him in under 21s last season. I thought he was an outstanding player, and he was only 17.
Was he? Boy Chelsea.
Aye, very good. That's the boy who went for Rangers.
Yeah, aye.
Very good. And I'm saying that's what we need. We need more players like that.
Definitely.
They're there. It's just getting the opportunity.
I'm just laughing. Somebody's put in Bill, and he's quoting me. What's his name? Plays for, what do you call them? Comes from Argentina or something like that. It's not until you see your words back that you realise how stupidly and ridiculous they were. Oh dear, never mind. Listen, we'll take a break, we'll come back and we'll finish off just talking about Scotland and some transfer news as well. That's next on Rock Sport.
If you enjoy the occasional flutter, Rock Sport Radio have now teamed with BetVision, our official betting and gaming partner. Enter a world of gaming that you won't believe with a fresh visual style. Find out more at rocksportradio.co.uk and see what BetVision is all about. Rock Sport Radio and BetVision, a brand new name in the world of gambling. Please gamble responsibly. Over 18s only. And remember, when the fun stops, stop. For more, visit gambleaware.co.uk.
Do you hear that? That's your family coming round to your new house for Sunday lunch. Your son opening the door of his first home. Visitors arriving at your guest house. Friends coming over to watch the football. Scottish Building Society offer a range of mortgages, so we can turn this into this.
Hello!
Scottish Building Society. We've been helping people open doors since 1848. Call us today on 0345 600 4085. Scottish Building Society is authorised by the Prudential Regulation Authority and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority and the Prudential Regulation Authority.
The list of things you need to do gets longer at this time of year, whether that's for the house or in your business. So take one thing off your list right now. Your septic tank could need emptied. Let Grant Henderson Tankers empty your septic tank in the home or work, farm, factory or workshop at very competitive rates. We are septic tank specialists, experienced, safe and dedicated to environmental safety with our own licensed disposal site. Find out more at wemovesh.it or call 01698 284 987. Grant Henderson Tankers. Let the experts manage your waste.
William, Pamela and Anthony were sold investments by banks and ended up losing money. Luckily, they contacted the financial claims experts at Goodwin Barrett and were able to claim back a total of £65,500. At Goodwin Barrett, we may be able to help you too. If you've lost money on an investment sold by a bank, even if you no longer have the investment or the paperwork, just text GOOD to 66777 for a free assessment on how much you could be owed. Text GOOD to 66777 and we'll call you back.
Love music. Live sport. Talking football with Bill Young, Hugh Burns and Jerry McCabe on Rock Sport Radio.
Okay, let's finish up, lads. Just looking at some general stuff. Ryan Kent, Rangers, reported to be closing in on another loan deal with him for next season. And then Leeds United come back for, I think it's the second or third time, to make an approach to Liverpool. I asked last week, I think it was, on Twitter, how big a miss Ryan Kent would be for Rangers if he wasn't at Ibrox next season.
Read it this morning. I'm not surprised. I think that, according to reports this morning, guys, that Liverpool are still more keen on having a look at him, maybe during the close season, during pre-season, and then, maybe loaning him out again. But I'm of the opinion that he wants to come back and play for Rangers rather than go to maybe a so-called Leeds United derby or whatever. And I think Liverpool, given the fact that the connections that the manager still has with Klopp and everything going well there, I think Klopp will say, right, have him another season. We don't want to sell him. We don't want to take money for him just now. Because if he comes up here, does well, he's still a young kid. I think Liverpool will give him the platform again to decide where he wants to go. But I think it's kind of well documented that he's come out and said that he would his choice would be Rangers Football Club for another season.
Jerry, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think if he did go, it would be a loss to Rangers, but I think Steven Gerrard will be the ace in the pack here. Maybe, you know, I don't know if Klopp maybe feels going to the Championship in England he's going to get more of a challenge week in, week out, you know, although say Rangers are a bigger club than them, Leeds and that, but I think I honestly think if he comes, you know, he stays with Rangers another season, you know, he'll get the opportunity to progress. But then again, it'll be down to finances.
But if you look at like for like, when Rangers were quoted this time last year and trying to get young boy Harry Wilson, who went to Derby and was outstanding at Derby, Klopp might say, well, Wilson has probably became a better player than Kent. I know he's known the eye up here, but he can play the boy Wilson. What a great player he is. And he's did better, I think, down there than he had done at Ibrox. You know that way, because I think Jerry's right, it's a hard league, the Championship. A lot of games, a lot of midweek games, a lot of big performances required. I'm not saying they're not required up here, but I still think that Klopp might look at that, and that might be the only spanner in the works that Klopp goes, no, I'm going to put him in the Championship, put him where Harry Wilson went.
I think if we come down to managers, if it was Derby County, say it was Derby County, you know, with Lampard there and Steven Gerrard and Steven Gerrard's connection with Liverpool, I think he would come to Rangers.
Still win it,
if he was doing it.
Yeah.
Jerry, let me ask you, because I haven't had a chance to talk to you since it happened. What's your thoughts on the leaked documents from Celtic last week regarding transfer targets and people's contracts and things like that? Celtic have confirmed that it was genuine. They feel that it could be a criminal matter. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are. It's not something that you would expect from Celtic Football Club. They've been traditionally very good at guarding things like that. What's your thoughts?
Well,
somebody's obviously disgruntled.
Well, exactly. You know, when you see that coming out of Celtic, I know Neil Lennon was a bit. He came out and quoted as saying that the team news was getting leaked before games, and he wants it to stop. He never. He just wanted it to stop. Obviously, with him being the manager now, you know, he'll take full control of that. But it's very disappointing if that's come out. Well, it has come out of Celtic, and as I say, they're going to make the investigation, because when you look at it now, you know, I think I was reading something that Brendan Rodgers is in for one of those players that Celtic were interested in, whether it was boy Lee Congerton. Well, he's left now. And this all, when you're looking at the documents that came out in April, and would it be Lee Congerton, with somebody like that? Would he be involved in that? I don't know, because obviously he was involved in when they wrote up the documents, and these are the players who they were thinking to bring in or discussing to bring in, and the players that was discussing to leave. But I couldn't honestly say, but I think obviously Celtic, you know, they'll do their investigation, and whoever it is, I don't know, belonging at Celtic, because the last thing you want within your squad or within your, you know, your backroom staff, your players, everybody connected, you know, with your club, you want, you know, they're loyal to the club and they're honest to the club, and
very strange.
It doesn't sit well when they sit well with any club, you know, and obviously. Celtic, obviously, they want to do their business behind closed doors and discreet about the players are interested. But as soon as that comes out, you know, then other clubs, you know, saying,
well, you know what I'd heard through.
We could get a chance of these players.
The players are aware of who it is, and it will come out. I told you on Friday night, and for a good source.
Well, I actually guessed it before because I could see why that person would be, if you like, the target.
I gave you a name on Friday night that obviously we're not allowed to talk about that, and with what I'd heard for a really good source, you know, that's close to players and to hear what's going on. The person I've gave you,
that makes sense to me, and that's why I guessed it so easily.
Yeah, the nod. I just think that, you know, there's something substance.
Well, I mean, Lenny's talking about there was probably a discussion about Johan Mjällby coming back, Henrik Larsson coming back. Is he happy with his backroom staff? Does he want to add to his backroom staff? Or does he feel something's, you know, is there somebody in there he doesn't trust anyway?
Well, he's obviously must still have the thoughts of bringing Gary Parker back, Jerry. He must be in his thoughts, you know, he always has been with him, into Gary Parker. Yeah. Which then there must be a shuffle in the backroom, you know. You would think there'd be a bit of a movement there over the summer. Interesting to see. He's now the manager. It's up to him who he brings in. I don't think there'll be any obstacles regarding who he's allowed to move on, who he's allowed to bring in. He's now the manager. He's not a caretaker anymore. It's his gig.
Yeah. Well, that's it. He want his own men in. But, you know, they will get to the bottom of it, put it that way, and I don't think whoever is involved in it, I don't think they'll have longer of a job at Parkhead.
They'll not be there that long.
Whether it's a player, whether it's somebody of the backroom staff, but
strange, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's very disappointing, when you feel that, you've...
Well, it's not that. If somebody gets found out and ouched out, that way, they're gone. Career's gone.
Whoever it is, other managers or wherever they go, wherever their club is, they'll not trust them.
Never. They
broke that trust, and
it's a very small, although it's a big game, it's a very small world when it comes to football.
Of course it is.
Yeah. It's all right if somebody... I'm not saying it's all right, but usually people in the media get into something if it came from somebody. But when you feel it's somebody within your own camp, and you're working with them day in, day out, and they've leaked that out, it's sad, and it's, as it says, whoever it is will pay the consequences.
Right, very quickly, and I mean literally very quickly because we're running out of time. Leigh Griffiths, will he start next season, or is he on the road to recovery, or what
I think Lenny's the guy probably to get him right. Lenny's went through a lot of problems in his life as well, and knows everybody's got to deal with problems, and I think that'll all be good for Leigh Griffiths.
All right, that's quick enough. Thank you very much, gents. We'll
Cheers.
see you next Monday. We'll see you on Friday. I'll be back tomorrow. Jerry Collins will be in with me then. Thank you for your company.